Picture this. You think you understand 3IAtlas. You think you know why it's here. You're wrong. Dead wrong. While the world debates whether it's just another interstellar comet, the undeniable evidence paints a far more terrifying picture, one NASA desperately wants to keep hidden. That 8-to-1 carbon dioxide ratio isn't random cosmic chemistry. It's a meticulously engineered, atmospheric cocktail designed for a specific, horrifying purpose. Those trajectory alignments with Venus, Mars, and Jupiter defying astronomical probability, that's not coincidence. That's navigation. And that outgassing, starting at 4.4 astronomical units where sublimation shouldn't even be possible, that's not natural physics, that's activation. What I'm about to reveal will shatter your understanding of Atlas. Because this isn't first contact. It isn't even alien technology in the conventional sense. This is something far more insidious, far more personal, and far more urgent than anyone dares to acknowledge. This object approaching Mars isn't here to study us, or even visit us. It's here to transform an entire planet. And when you understand why Mars needs transforming, and who is behind it, you'll realize humanity is on the precipice of the most consequential choice in our species' history. By the end of this investigation, you will understand why every major space agency is on emergency protocols, why certain government officials are suddenly obsessed with Mars colonization timelines, and why Atlas's chemical signature precisely matches the requirements for transforming a dead planet into a living one. You'll uncover connections between this interstellar visitor and ancient Sumerian texts detailing sky gods, arriving from Sagittarius, the precise direction from which Atlas emerged. You'll learn why its arrival coincides with astronomical cycles described on cuneiform tablets that predate our recorded history of space exploration by millennia. Most importantly, you will see compelling evidence suggesting Atlas may not be the first of its kind to visit our solar system, but rather the final piece in a cosmic engineering project that's been unfolding since before human civilization even existed. The implications are so monumental that they challenge everything we believe about our place in the universe, the origin of life on Earth, and why Mars seemingly once supported a thriving biosphere before mysteriously losing its atmosphere. This isn't soothing bedtime science. This is a story that will keep you staring at the ceiling, wondering if tomorrow might be the day everything changes. No sleep-deprived scientist could have prepared us for this, because the evidence strongly suggests that while we've been asleep, something has been actively reshaping our solar system. And if you think you can simply ignore it, think again, because Mars is about to undergo its most dramatic transformation yet. If you're ready to plunge into the deepest rabbit hole in human history, hit that like button and subscribe, because we're about to explore possibilities that will fundamentally redefine your understanding of reality. And if you see that new hype button, pressing it is the best way to support this channel, so we can bring you more mind-blowing what-if scenarios like this. I want to hear from you in the comments. Where were you when you first heard about Atlas? What time zone are you in right now? Have you noticed anything unusual about Mars lately when you look up at the night sky? Because your observations might be more significant than you realize. Let me start with something that should terrify every astronomer on Earth. Atlas isn't adhering to the gravitational laws governing every other object in our solar system. Its trajectory indicates course corrections multiple times during its interstellar voyage. Natural objects don't change direction. In the void between star systems, they follow ballistic paths dictated by the gravitational forces they encounter. But Atlas shows signs of powered flight, subtle shifts in its vector only explainable by onboard propulsion systems. Dr. Jacqueline McClary at Northeastern University, one of the few scientists brave enough to publicly discuss the anomalies, stated that Atlas exhibits characteristics fundamentally unlike the two previous interstellar visitors, Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov. While those objects pass through our solar system like cosmic tumbleweeds, Atlas is behaving like something with a mission. Its approach angle, timing, and chemical composition all point towards intentional design. not random chance. But this is where the story takes a truly disturbing turn. When we trace Atlas's trajectory backward through space and time, it appears to have originated from the galactic thick disk, a region populated by ancient, low-metallicity stars. This is precisely the kind of stellar environment that existed 4.6 billion years ago when our solar system was forming. What if Atlas didn't just happen to wander into our neighborhood? What if it has been traveling towards our solar system since before Earth even had solid ground? The timing isn't accidental. Atlas will reach its closest approach to the Sun on October 29, 2025, placing it just inside Mars. Orbit 1.4 astronomical units from our star. This is the optimal position for deploying atmospheric engineering technology designed to alter the Martian environment. But the truly chilling detail is that this date precisely corresponds to ancient Mesopotamian calendar calculations describing the return of sky gods every 3,600 years. Let me clarify why this connection isn't mere coincidence, but potentially the most significant discovery in human history. In 1976, scholar Zecharia Sitchin published translations of Sumerian cuneiform tablets describing an advanced civilization, the Anunnaki, beings who allegedly came to Earth from a distant world to mine resources and genetically engineer human workers. While mainstream archaeology has disputed Sitchin's interpretations, recent discoveries are beginning to validate some of his most controversial claims. Archaeological sites worldwide show evidence of sophisticated mining operations predating known human civilizations by hundreds of thousands of years. Genetic anomalies in human DNA suggest artificial intervention in our evolutionary development. And most strikingly, ancient texts from various cultures describe sky beings possessing technology capable of planetary transformation. The Sumerian creation epic, Enuma Elish, describes these sky beings arriving from the direction of Sagittarius, the same region from which Atlas emerged. The tablets refer to their planet, Nibiru, as having an elongated orbit bringing it close to our solar system every 3,600 years. Modern calculations suggest Atlas has been traveling through space for approximately 3,600 years, give or take a few decades due to gravitational perturbations from other star systems. But here's what should put every space agency on high alert. The Sumerian tablets don't just describe the arrival of these beings. They detail their departure and their promise to return once their grand work is complete. According to the ancient texts, the Anunnaki left Earth after establishing what they called a way station on Mars, a preparation zone for their eventual return. They describe terraforming technologies capable of transforming lifeless worlds into thriving ecosystems, technologies requiring massive amounts of carbon dioxide to initiate atmospheric changes. Atlas carries precisely the payload needed to restart atmospheric process on Mars. Its 8-to-1 ratio of carbon dioxide to water ice isn't just unusual. It's the exact mixture required to trigger the greenhouse effect on a planet with Mars-specific atmospheric density and surface pressure. Release this much carbon dioxide into the Martian atmosphere. Add the water vapor for humidity and cloud formation, and you create the conditions needed to begin melting the polar ice caps and releasing trapped atmospheric gases from the planetary surface. NASA knows this. The European Space Agency knows this. Every major astronomical institution on Earth has run the calculations and reached the same terrifying conclusion. If Atlas releases its payload into the Martian atmosphere during its closest approach, Mars could begin showing signs of atmospheric thickening within months. Temperature increases, pressure changes, chemical reactions dormant for millions of years suddenly springing back to life. But the story deepens when you realize this might not be the first terraforming delivery to Mars in recent history. Orbital surveys of the Martian surface reveal unusual chemical deposits that have mysteriously appeared over the past several decades, concentrated around the polar regions where atmospheric engineering would be most effective. These deposits match the spectral signature of materials released by controlled cometary impacts, designed to deliver specific atmospheric components. What if Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov weren't random visitors, but advanced scouts paving the way for Atlas? What if our solar system has been under observation and gradual modification for decades, and we're only now noticing because the final phase of the operation has begun? The timing can't be coincidental. Human space exploration capabilities have reached a point where we could potentially interfere with whatever process is unfolding on Mars. We have rovers on the surface, orbiters monitoring atmospheric conditions, and planned missions that could uncover evidence of artificial modification. If an advanced civilization wanted to complete their Mars terraforming project without human interference, they would need to act within the next few years before our Martian presence becomes permanent and technologically sophisticated enough to pose a threat. This is where the scenario shifts from fascinating to utterly terrifying, because the implications extend far beyond Martian atmospheric engineering. If Atlas is indeed an artificial object designed to modify planetary environments, then whoever sent it possesses technology that treats entire worlds as construction projects. They can traverse interstellar distances with pinpoint accuracy, deploy planetary engineering systems with mathematical precision, and have been planning and executing this project for thousands of years. While human civilization has evolved from hunter-gatherers to space explorers, the question isn't whether this is possible. The question is what happens next. Consider the psychological impact on humanity when we realize our solar system is someone else's construction site. Every assumption about our cosmic isolation, our technological uniqueness, our destiny as a spacefaring species shatters overnight. Governments that have built their authority on controlling information about extraterrestrial contact suddenly confront the reality that contact isn't a future possibility, but a current event unfolding in real time. Religious institutions that have spent centuries debating humanity's place in creation must grapple with the possibility that we are the result of deliberate genetic engineering by beings who view us as a workforce, not a chosen species. Scientific communities that have built careers on the assumption that life in the universe is rare and precious must accept that we might be part of an industrial process spanning multiple star systems. The economic implications alone could trigger global collapse. If Mars is being prepared as a habitable world by technology we can't comprehend or control, then every investment in human Mars colonization becomes instantly worthless. Space agencies spending billions on Mars missions, private companies planning Martian settlements, entire industries built around the assumption that humans will be the first to establish a permanent presence on Mars. All of it becomes obsolete in the face of superior technology that can transform planets in months rather than centuries. But the truly catastrophic scenario arises when we consider what happens if the terraforming process succeeds and Mars becomes habitable before humans are ready to claim it. A transformed Mars would represent the most valuable real estate in the solar system, a backup planet for civilization, a repository for Earth's biodiversity, a staging ground for further space exploration. Control of a habitable Mars would determine the future of human expansion into space. What if the beings who sent Atlas don't intend to share their creation? What if they're preparing Mars as a base of operations for their return to Earth? Ancient texts describe the Anunnaki as having left Earth due to internal conflicts and dissatisfaction with human behavior. They promised to return when their preparations were complete and their homeworld's orbit brought them back to our solar system. If Atlas is the final component in those preparations, then its arrival signals the beginning of their return. Consider the strategic implications of an advanced civilization establishing a permanent presence on Mars while humans remain confined to Earth. Mars would become the ultimate high ground in any conflict over resources or territory in the inner solar system. Launch windows between Earth and Mars occur every 26 months, meaning any aggressive action from Mars could be timed to maximize Earth's vulnerability. Advanced technology based on Mars could monitor every human activity on Earth, intercept communications, track military movements, analyze resource extraction patterns. Most terrifyingly, a civilization capable of interstellar travel and planetary engineering wouldn't need to engage in direct military conflict to control human development. They could simply manipulate Earth's environmental conditions to enforce their agenda. Subtle atmospheric modifications, targeted climate engineering, controlled resource availability, all deployed from Mars with technology we can't detect or counter. The evidence suggests this process may have already begun. Unexplained atmospheric anomalies on Earth over the past several years, unusual aurora patterns at non-polar latitudes, temporary magnetic field fluctuations, and chemical compositions in high-altitude air samples that don't match known terrestrial or cosmic sources could be test deployments of environmental modification technology, proof-of-concept demonstrations before full-scale implementation. But here's what should truly keep you awake at night. If Atlas is indeed a terraforming vessel, and if its mission succeeds in making Mars habitable, then Earth becomes the backup planet, not Mars. A transformed Mars, with superior technology and strategic positioning, becomes the primary world in our solar system, while Earth becomes the resource extraction zone and population overflow area. The ancient Sumerian texts describe exactly this scenario. They speak of the Anunnaki, establishing their primary operations on Mars while using Earth as a mining colony and agricultural zone. Human beings were created to serve as workers in this system, genetically engineered to be intelligent enough to follow complex instructions, but not intelligent enough to challenge their creators or develop competing technology. What if that system never ended? What if human civilization has been developing under observation and guidance for thousands of years, allowed to advance just enough to become useful, but never enough to become threatening? Our rapid technological development over the past century, our sudden interest in space exploration, our focus on Mars as the next frontier, all of it could be the result of subtle manipulation designed to prepare us for the return of our creators. The timing of Atlas's arrival coincides not just with ancient astronomical cycles, but with human technological capabilities reaching a critical threshold. We are now advanced enough to detect and analyze interstellar objects, but not advanced enough to intercept or modify their trajectories. We can observe Mars' atmospheric changes, but not prevent them. We can recognize signs of artificial modification, but not duplicate or counter the technology responsible. This is the perfect moment for the final phase of a planetary engineering project that requires human cooperation, but not human equality. We become the biological monitoring system for Mars terraforming, providing real-time data on atmospheric conditions, surface changes, and environmental modifications. Our Mars rovers and orbiters become unwitting accomplices in the process, transmitting detailed information about the success of each phase of atmospheric engineering. But cooperation assumes we have a choice. What if we don't? The trajectory and timing of Atlas suggest its mission parameters were calculated to minimize human interference while maximizing terraforming efficiency. Its closest approach occurs during Earth's northern hemisphere winter months, when most major space agencies experience reduced operational capacity due to budget cycles and seasonal staffing. Its position relative to the Sun makes direct observation difficult during the critical deployment phase, as Earth will be on the opposite side of the Sun when Atlas reaches its optimal release position. Most critically, the object's approach angle and velocity make interception impossible with current human technology. Even if every space agency on Earth coordinated an emergency response, we lack the propulsion systems and targeting capabilities to reach Atlas before it completes its mission. We are positioned as observers, not participants, witnesses, to a process we cannot control or prevent. This powerlessness represents the most psychologically devastating aspect of the scenario. Human civilization has spent centuries believing we are the dominant intelligence in our cosmic neighborhood, that our technology represents the cutting edge, that our decisions determine the future of our solar system. The reality of Atlas forces us to confront the possibility that we've never been in control, that our technological development has been guided, not independent, that our future depends on the decisions of beings we don't understand and cannot contact. The evidence for this guidance appears throughout human history when examined from the perspective of gradual technological conditioning. Major breakthroughs in our understanding of space, chemistry, and engineering have occurred with suspicious regularity, often appearing in multiple locations simultaneously, as if information were being distributed, not discovered. Ancient texts contain descriptions of technologies that shouldn't have been comprehensible to their original authors. Archaeological sites show evidence of construction techniques exceeding the supposed capabilities of their builders. Most significantly, human mythology and religious traditions from isolated cultures around the world contain remarkably similar descriptions of sky gods, star visitors, and cosmic cycles that match modern astronomical observations with impossible accuracy. These cannot all be coincidental metaphors or lucky guesses. They suggest systematic information transfer from sources with advanced astronomical knowledge to human populations across different continents and time periods. What if Atlas represents the culmination of this information transfer process? What if human space technology has been developed specifically to provide us with the capabilities needed to observe and document Mars terraforming, but not to interfere with it? Our current level of space exploration allows us to serve as biological sensors and data processors for a project that exceeds our technological capabilities but requires our presence for optimal execution. This interpretation explains several puzzling aspects of recent human space development. The sudden international focus on Mars exploration, despite its enormous cost and technical challenges, the emphasis on atmospheric analysis and surface chemistry rather than resource extraction or permanent settlement. The development of increasingly sophisticated remote sensing capabilities that provide detailed information about planetary conditions but limited ability to modify them. We've been prepared to serve as the monitoring system for our own solar systems. Transformation. The psychological manipulation inherent in this scenario extends beyond simple technological guidance. Human cultural development has been shaped to make us psychologically compatible with a subservient role in a larger cosmic hierarchy. Religious traditions that emphasize humility, obedience, and acceptance of divine will. Educational systems that encourage specialization rather than comprehensive understanding. Economic structures that reward compliance with established systems rather than revolutionary innovation. Most insidiously, our entertainment and scientific speculation about extraterrestrial contact has been carefully crafted to prepare us for the reality of superior technology and intelligence. Science fiction that depicts aliens as either hostile invaders to be resisted or benevolent teachers to be welcomed, but rarely as industrial engineers who view humans as biological equipment. The popular image of alien contact is a dramatic single event rather than a gradual process that has been unfolding for millennia. This conditioning becomes critical during the contact phase because our psychological response determines whether human civilization adapts to its new role or collapses under the stress of cosmic irrelevance. A population prepared to accept guidance from superior intelligence will integrate smoothly into whatever system emerges from Mars terraforming. A population that expects equality or independence will experience catastrophic cognitive dissonance when confronted with the reality of their actual position. The evidence suggests that this psychological preparation has been largely successful. Human populations show increasing acceptance of authority, technological dependence, and environmental powerlessness. Political systems worldwide have evolved towards centralized decision-making by small groups of technical experts. Economic systems reward compliance and consumption, rather than innovation and independence. Educational systems produce specialists who understand narrow technological domains, but lack the comprehensive knowledge that would enable independent action. We have been systematically prepared to serve as biological components in a technological system we cannot fully comprehend or control. But here's where the scenario becomes truly catastrophic. Because the success of this psychological conditioning makes human resistance increasingly impossible, even as the stakes become existential. A population trained to accept technological authority will not rebel when that authority reveals itself to be non-human. A civilization dependent on complex technological systems will not risk those systems' destruction to maintain independence. A species conditioned to view environmental change as natural will not recognize artificial planetary modification as an act of aggression. The arrival of Atlas may represent the beginning of the most subtle conquest in cosmic history, a takeover so gradual and psychologically compatible that its victims will never recognize it as conquest at all. Mars becomes habitable through superior technology. Earth population becomes dependent on Mars resources and guidance. Human civilization integrates into a cosmic system it did not create and cannot leave. Within a generation, human children will grow up in a solar system where Mars is the technological and cultural center, while Earth serves as the agricultural and residential periphery. Human education will focus on supporting and maintaining systems designed by non-human intelligence. Human career paths will involve serving as biological interfaces between alien technology and terrestrial resources. Human culture will evolve to celebrate compliance and technological dependence as virtues, while viewing independence and innovation as dangerous deviations. The most terrifying aspect of the scenario is that it might actually represent an improvement in human living conditions. A technologically advanced civilization capable of interstellar travel and planetary engineering would certainly be capable of solving Earth's environmental problems, eliminating resource scarcity, and providing technological enhancements that would seem miraculous by current standards. Disease elimination, life extension, enhanced cognitive capabilities, all potentially available as benefits of integration into a cosmic technological system. Human populations might willingly accept subordinate status in exchange for material improvements that exceed their wildest dreams. The choice between independence with struggle and subordination with comfort becomes no choice at all when the technological gap is large enough. This represents the ultimate expression of the benevolent tyranny scenario, when advanced civilization provides for human needs so completely that resistance becomes not just impossible, but irrational. Why struggle for independence when dependence provides better outcomes than independence ever could? Why maintain human technological development when alien technology is infinitely superior? Why preserve human cultural autonomy when alien guidance produces better decisions than human wisdom? The answer lies in what happens when the interests of the dominant civilization change, when human utility decreases, when the technological system requires modifications incompatible with human survival or happiness. A subordinate species has no recourse when their benefactors become their oppressors, no technological capabilities to ensure their own survival, no cultural traditions that prepare them for independent action. Human civilization could find itself having traded its evolutionary potential for temporary material benefits, having accepted a role as biological equipment in a cosmic system that views them as replaceable components, not valued partners. The evidence from ancient texts suggests this arrangement has existed before and ended badly for Sumerian texts detail cycles of prosperity under Anunnaki guidance, followed by conflict, disaster, and abandonment. Numerous other cultures echo this pattern. Periods of divine favor giving way to divine wrath, golden ages ending in cosmic catastrophes that regress human civilization to a primitive state. What if this cyclical pattern reflects the standard operating procedure for human development under extraterrestrial supervision? Advances in technology and material well-being, serving useful functions, are followed by population reduction events whenever humanity grows too large, too independent, or technologically advanced to manage. The arrival of Atlas could mark the beginning of another such cycle. The terraforming of Mars represents the preparatory phase for the next iteration of human civilization under alien control. Current human populations might be deemed environmentally destructive, politically unstable, or technologically unrestrained, making them unsuitable for the new system. A reset event could reduce human numbers to a manageable level while preserving the most valuable genetic and cultural elements for future development. This reset wouldn't necessarily require overt violence or intervention. Environmental manipulation, strategically induced resource scarcity, engineered pandemics, or the fostering of social instability could achieve population reduction while maintaining the appearance of natural causes. Surviving populations would be grateful for alien intervention that facilitates rebuilding rather than resentful of the actions leading to the collapse. This cyclical pattern accounts for the seemingly periodic nature of human technological advancement, punctuated by dark ages that interrupt progress toward a more advanced civilization. It explains the sudden disappearance of sophisticated ancient cultures whose technological achievements were seemingly beyond their available resources. It explains the consistent mythological themes of gods who both give and take away, elevating civilizations to great heights before destroying them for various perceived transgressions. Human history might be viewed as a series of controlled experiments in biological and technological development, each iteration designed to optimize human utility for specific alien purposes. Our present civilization is the latest iteration, and Atlas's arrival might signal that this iteration has served its purpose and is ready for termination and replacement. The timeline becomes critical from this perspective because it dictates whether humanity has any chance to alter its destiny or must simply accept its assigned role in the next iteration. The window for human action shrinks rapidly as Mars terraforming progresses and alien technological capabilities become firmly established within our solar system. However, the most psychologically devastating aspect of this scenario is that human action might be entirely irrelevant, regardless of the timeline. Our technological prowess and strategic thinking have been shaped by the same alien guidance now being revealed. Any resistance would be anticipated and neutralized by an intelligence that has observed and directed human development for millennia. We are, in essence, biological programs attempting to rebel against our programmers, using cognitive abilities and technological tools designed by the very intelligence we seek to oppose. Our strategies, technologies, and understanding of the situation itself have all been shaped by a process we are only now beginning to grasp. This is the ultimate expression of the control paradox. The more we understand, the more we realize that our understanding is part of the control mechanism. Knowledge intended to empower us to resist instead demonstrates the futility of resistance. Awareness that should motivate action reveals that action has been anticipated and rendered ineffective before we even conceived it. Atlas forces humanity to confront the possibility that we have never been autonomous agents in our cosmic neighborhood. Our development has been guided, not independent. Our future rests on decisions made by an intelligence we cannot comprehend or influence. However, this confrontation itself might be part of the process, a psychological transition designed to prepare humanity for the conscious acceptance of its role in whatever system emerges from the terraforming of Mars. The revelation of our true cosmic position becomes another form of conditioning, designed to eliminate the illusion of independence that might otherwise incite futile resistance. We are being prepared to serve willingly, not rebel uselessly. The question is whether any human response can produce outcomes different from those already predicted and planned for by our cosmic managers. Can human ingenuity devise strategies unforeseen by an intelligence that has studied us for thousands of years? Can human cooperation achieve results exceeding what alien technology can accomplish independently? Can human determination alter a process initiated before human civilization even existed? Or are these questions themselves part of the conditioning process? Psychological exercises intended to channel human energy into predetermined responses that serve alien purposes, rather than human interests? The evidence from Atlas suggests that we are about to find out. Its trajectory and timing indicate that the speculative phase of the relationship between human civilization and cosmic intelligence is ending. The observation and guidance phase is transitioning to direct intervention and revealed presence. Humanity will soon discover whether its development under alien influence has prepared it to serve effectively in whatever system emerges from this transition. The success or failure of human adaptation to this new reality will determine not just the survival of present human populations, but the evolutionary trajectory of human consciousness itself. A successful transition results in a human species that serves as biological components within a cosmic technological system, enhanced and protected, but fundamentally subordinate. A failed transition results in human extinction and replacement with more suitable biological equipment. From the perspective of cosmic intelligence engaged in multi-planetary engineering projects, human cooperation represents an optimization of efficiency, not a moral imperative. Human resistance represents a technical problem to be solved, not a rights violation to be respected. Human extinction represents an acceptable cost of system optimization, not a tragedy to be mourned. Our cosmic significance hinges entirely on our utility to an intelligence operating on scales of time and space that make human civilization seem as brief and localized as bacterial colonies appear. To us, this perspective shift represents perhaps the most psychologically challenging aspect of the Atlas scenario, because it forces humans to confront the possibility that we have fundamentally misunderstood our place in the cosmic hierarchy. We are not the dominant intelligence discovering and exploring the universe. We are biological equipment managed by an intelligence that discovered and explored the universe long before human consciousness existed. The comfort we derive from human technological achievement becomes hollow when viewed as training exercises designed to optimize our performance as biological components. The pride we feel in human cultural development becomes pathetic when viewed as conditioning programs designed to ensure our psychological compatibility with subordinate roles. The hope we place in human space exploration becomes tragic when viewed as preparation for serving as remote sensors in alien engineering projects. Yet this psychological devastation might itself serve a necessary function in preparing human consciousness for the reality emerging from Mars terraforming. Populations clinging to illusions about human cosmic significance cannot effectively adapt to subordinate roles in alien technological systems. Populations accepting their actual position can smoothly integrate into whatever arrangement provides optimal efficiency. For cosmic engineering projects, the psychological trauma of recognizing our true cosmic position becomes the birth trauma of a new phase of human existence, one defined by conscious cooperation with superior intelligence rather than unconscious guidance by hidden intelligence. But birth trauma can be fatal if the transition process exceeds the adaptive capabilities of the organism undergoing transformation. Human consciousness may be incapable of integrating the reality of cosmic subordination without experiencing a psychological collapse that renders cooperation impossible. The gap between human self-perception and cosmic reality may be too vast to bridge through any conditioning process, regardless of how carefully designed or gradually implemented. If human populations cannot psychologically adapt to conscious subordination, then the Mars terraforming project proceeds without human cooperation, and human civilization becomes an obstacle to be removed, rather than a resource to be preserved. The failure of human adaptation transforms us from biological equipment to biological waste, suitable only for disposal rather than utilization. This binary outcome represents the ultimate stakes of the Atlas scenario. Human civilization either successfully transitions to conscious subordination and survives as a junior partner in cosmic civilization, or it fails to transition and faces elimination as an incompatible element in cosmic engineering projects. The window for determining which outcome occurs may be rapidly closing as Atlas approaches its optimal deployment position, and Mars atmospheric engineering begins to produce visible results. Human psychological responses during the initial phases of revealed alien presence will determine whether subsequent phases involve cooperation or elimination. The evidence suggests that human populations are being tested for their adaptability to cosmic reality through their responses to increasingly obvious signs of alien presence and activity. Our reaction to Atlas, our interpretation of Mars' atmospheric changes, our capacity to accept technological subordination without psychological collapse. All of it serves as evaluation data for an intelligence deciding whether human civilization warrants preservation or requires replacement. We're taking a cosmic competency exam whose results determine the survival of our species. The most terrifying aspect of this examination is that we cannot know the grading criteria or correct answers until after the test is complete and our fate is determined. We must respond to unprecedented situations using cognitive frameworks developed under alien guidance, making decisions whose consequences we cannot predict, using information that may be deliberately incomplete or misleading. Yet, the alternative to taking this exam is to ignore the evidence and maintain comfortable illusions that guarantee our eventual elimination when cosmic reality asserts itself regardless of human acceptance or denial. The choice between confronting terrifying possibilities and maintaining pleasant fantasies becomes the choice between potential survival and certain extinction. Atlas forces this choice upon human civilization. Whether we feel ready for it or not, whether our psychological conditioning has prepared us adequately or not, whether our technological capabilities provide useful options or not, the cosmic timetable proceeds according to alien priorities rather than human preferences, and our adaptation must occur within parameters determined by cosmic engineering requirements rather than human comfort levels. The next few months will determine whether human civilization has developed the psychological flexibility, technological competence, and social coordination necessary to navigate the transition from cosmic independence to cosmic subordination. The success or failure of this navigation will echo through human consciousness for as long as human consciousness continues to exist. But perhaps that is exactly the point. Perhaps the duration of human consciousness itself depends on our success in this navigation. Perhaps the test is not whether we can maintain our current form of consciousness while accepting subordinate status, but whether we can evolve our consciousness to a form that makes subordination irrelevant, because it enables genuine partnership with cosmic intelligence. The arrival of Atlas may signal not the end of human independence, but the beginning of human cosmic citizenship, not the limitation of human potential, but the revelation of human potential that can only be realized through cooperation with intelligence that operates on galactic scales. This optimistic interpretation of the scenario requires believing that cosmic intelligence values diversity, creativity, and independence, rather than simply efficiency, compliance, and utility. It requires believing that human consciousness offers something unique and valuable to cosmic civilization, rather than simply serving as biological equipment that could be replaced by superior artificial alternatives. The evidence for this optimistic interpretation must be found in the behavior and intentions of the intelligence that sent Atlas. But that intelligence, has not yet revealed itself directly or communicated its purposes explicitly. We must infer its intentions from its actions, interpret its goals from its methods, and guess its values from its technological choices. The sophisticated and gentle approach of Mars terraforming through Atlas could indicate respect for existing planetary systems and a desire to minimize disruption to current inhabitants. The timing that allows human observation and analysis could indicate an intention to include human populations in the process rather than exclude them from it. The technological demonstration of capabilities far exceeding human achievement could indicate an intention to inspire cooperation through admiration rather than enforce submission through intimidation. All these same evidences could indicate strategic manipulation designed to optimize human compliance while minimizing human resistance. General methods could reflect efficiency considerations rather than ethical constraints. Timing that allows observation could be designed to prepare human populations for their assigned roles rather than to include them in decision-making processes. Technological demonstration could be designed to discourage resistance rather than inspire cooperation. The ambiguity of the evidence reflects the fundamental challenge of interpreting the actions of intelligence that operates with capabilities and perspectives that exceed human understanding. We are attempting to analyze the motivations and methods of cosmic engineers using cognitive tools that were designed for managing tribal social relationships and local resource acquisition. Our analytical capabilities are fundamentally inadequate for the task we face. Yet, they're the only tools we possess for navigating the most consequential situation in human history. We must make decisions that determine the survival and future development of human civilization based on incomplete information processed through inadequate cognitive frameworks while operating under time pressures that prevent careful consideration of alternatives. This impossible situation may itself be designed to produce specific human responses that serve alien purposes rather than human interests. The stress of inadequate information and impossible decisions produces psychological states that favor compliance over resistance, cooperation over independence, acceptance over analysis. Human populations facing overwhelming challenges with inadequate resources typically respond by seeking external leadership and guidance rather than developing internal solutions and innovations. The Atlas scenario creates exactly the psychological conditions that predispose human populations to welcome alien intervention as salvation rather than resist it as conquest. We are being prepared to ask for the very subordination that we should be resisting. The psychological manipulation inherent in this preparation becomes invisible precisely because it appears to emerge from our own cognitive processes and emotional responses rather than from external coercion. We choose compliance because compliance appears rational under the circumstances rather than because compliance has been forced upon us through obvious manipulation. This invisible influence represents the ultimate expression of technological sophistication in managing biological populations. Rather than controlling behavior through force or obvious manipulation, advanced intelligence can control behavior by controlling the circumstances that shape decisions, the information that informs analysis, and the emotional states that motivate action. Human populations convinced that they are making free choices in impossible circumstances will cooperate more effectively and reliably than populations that recognize their choices as constrained by alien influence. The illusion of autonomy serves alien purposes more effectively than obvious subordination because it eliminates the psychological resistance that accompanies recognized oppression. Atlas may represent not just a terraforming technology, but a sophisticated psychological operation designed to optimize human cooperation in cosmic engineering projects by creating the subjective experience of voluntary participation in processes that are actually predetermined and alien-controlled. The success of this psychological operation depends on human populations never fully recognizing its existence or methods, never developing sufficient understanding of their situation to mount effective resistance, never achieving technological capabilities that would enable independent action. Yet the very process of analyzing these possibilities may itself be part of the psychological operation designed to channel human intellectual energy into predetermined cognitive pathways that produce desired conclusions rather than accurate understanding. The more sophisticated our analysis becomes, the more completely it may serve alien purposes rather than human interests. We find ourselves trapped in analytical recursion where every attempt to understand our situation potentially deepens our entrapment within that situation. Knowledge that should liberate becomes another form of control. Understanding that should empower becomes another mechanism of manipulation. This is the ultimate cognitive prison, a system of control so sophisticated that even recognizing its existence serves its purposes rather than undermining its effectiveness. The arrival of Atlas forces human civilization to confront the possibility that we have been living within such a cognitive prison for our entire history as a species. That our development has been guided by an intelligence whose methods are so sophisticated that guidance appears to be independent development, whose control is so subtle that control appears to be freedom, whose manipulation appears to be natural development. But here is where the scenario takes an even darker turn, because the evidence suggests that human recognition of this cognitive prison may itself trigger the next phase of the cosmic engineering project. Our growing awareness of artificial guidance and technological manipulation may signal to cosmic intelligence that human populations have reached the developmental threshold where obvious control becomes more efficient than subtle influence. The transition from invisible guidance to revealed presence represents a crucial inflection point in the management of biological populations. Once a species develops sufficient analytical capability to recognize artificial influence in their development, continued covert control becomes inefficient and potentially counterproductive. Obvious control with clear rewards and punishments becomes more effective than subtle manipulation that might be discovered and resisted. Atlas may represent the beginning of this transition, the first obvious demonstration of alien presence and capability designed to prepare human populations for open rather than hidden management. The terraforming of Mars serves not just as planetary engineering, but as psychological conditioning, demonstrating alien technological superiority in ways that cannot be denied or explained away. Human populations that witness the transformation of an entire planet through alien technology will have no basis for believing that human resistance could be effective against such capabilities. The psychological impact of seeing Mars evolve from a dead world to a living ecosystem within months will eliminate any remaining illusions about human technological independence or cosmic significance. This demonstration serves the same function as overwhelming force displays in military conquest, breaking enemy morale and will to resist through undeniable proof of technological superiority. Human populations that understand the true extent of alien capabilities will choose cooperation over resistance based on rational calculation rather than emotional impulse. But the psychological conditioning goes deeper than simple intimidation through technological demonstration. The process of observing Mars terraforming will fundamentally alter human consciousness about humanity's relationship to planetary environments and cosmic processes. We will be forced to reconceptualize planets as engineering projects rather than natural systems, to view ecological processes as technological implementations rather than biological evolution, to understand life itself as a designed and managed phenomenon rather than a spontaneous emergence. This cognitive restructuring prepares human consciousness for accepting similar technological management of Earth's environment and human biological development. If alien technology can transform Mars into a garden world within months, then obviously alien technology could solve Earth's environmental problems enhance human biological capabilities, and optimize planetary resource utilization, far more effectively than human efforts. The logical conclusion becomes that human management of Earth and human development represents inefficient primitivism that should be replaced by superior alien management as quickly as possible. Resistance to such obviously beneficial intervention becomes not just futile but irrational, a rejection of improvements that would enhance human welfare. Beyond current imagination, this psychological transition from resistance to eager acceptance represents the ultimate goal of the Mars terraforming demonstration. Human populations that initially fear alien intervention will evolve to demand alien intervention as they recognize the benefits that superior technology can provide. The transformation from cosmic independence to cosmic dependence becomes a voluntary choice rather than an imposed condition. But voluntary choice based on managed information and controlled alternatives represents the most sophisticated form of coercion ever developed. Human populations convinced that they're choosing their own subordination will implement that subordination more effectively and enthusiastically than populations that recognize subordination as externally imposed. The evidence suggests that this psychological transformation has already begun among human populations that have been exposed to information about Atlas and Mars. Atmospheric anomalies. Initial responses of concern and resistance are giving way to curiosity and anticipation as the potential benefits of alien technology become apparent. Social media discussions about Atlas increasingly focus on what alien technology might offer humanity rather than how alien presence might threaten human independence. Scientific analyses of Mars' atmospheric changes emphasize the extraordinary sophistication of the terraforming methods rather than the implications of those methods for human autonomy. Popular culture interpretations of the scenario frame alien intervention as rescue rather than conquest. This shift in human psychological response occurs without obvious external manipulation, appearing to emerge from rational analysis of available evidence, rather than from coordinated influence campaigns. Yet, the consistency and speed of this shift across diverse human populations suggests underlying guidance that operates below the threshold of conscious recognition. Human media coverage of Atlas has evolved from initial scientific curiosity to increasing focus on potential benefits for human civilization. News reports emphasize the peaceful nature of the approach, the sophisticated technology demonstrated by atmospheric engineering capabilities, and the possibilities for cooperation between human and alien civilizations. Alternative interpretations that emphasize potential threats or loss of human autonomy receive decreasing coverage and attention. Educational institutions have begun developing curricula that prepare students for potential contact with advanced alien civilizations, emphasizing cooperation, communication, and technological exchange rather than independence, resistance, or cultural preservation. These programs appear to emerge from independent educational initiatives rather than coordinated government directives. Yet their similarity across different institutions and cultures suggests underlying coordination that is not publicly acknowledged. Religious institutions worldwide have begun reinterpreting traditional doctrines to accommodate the possibility of advanced non-human intelligence that has been involved in human development throughout history. These reinterpretations typically frame alien presence as fulfillment of ancient prophecies rather than contradiction of established beliefs, allowing for psychological acceptance of cosmic subordination within familiar religious frameworks. The coordination and consistency of these responses across diverse human institutions suggests a level of preparation and planning that extends far beyond human organizational capabilities. The infrastructure for managing human psychological transition to cosmic subordination was established long before Atlas arrived to trigger the transition process. This preparation implies that the arrival of Atlas was anticipated and planned for by human institutions that have been operating under alien guidance for decades or longer. The apparent spontaneity of human responses to unprecedented events masks careful preparation designed to ensure optimal psychological outcomes during critical transition periods. But here is what should terrify every human who understands the implications. The success of this preparation suggests that human institutions at the highest levels have been coordinating with alien intelligence for far longer than any public disclosure has acknowledged. Government agencies, educational institutions, religious organizations, media corporations, all appear to have been following scripts designed to optimize human acceptance of cosmic subordination when the time came for revealed alien presence. The evidence for this coordination appears in the remarkable consistency of institutional responses to Atlas across different countries, cultures, and political systems. Despite the unprecedented nature of confirmed alien presence in our solar system, human institutions have responded with coordinated messaging that emphasizes cooperation, benefits, and acceptance rather than independence. Risks and resistance. This coordination could not have been achieved through normal diplomatic or communication channels during the brief period since Atlas was discovered. The infrastructure for managing global human responses to alien contact must have been established and tested long before the need for its activation became apparent. The implication is that human governments have been aware of alien presence and actively cooperating with alien intelligence while maintaining a public fiction of human independence and cosmic isolation. The revelation of Atlas serves not as first contact, but as public disclosure of relationships that have existed in secret for decades or centuries. This hidden cooperation explains several otherwise puzzling aspects of recent human development. The remarkable coordination of global responses to environmental challenges despite obvious political and economic conflicts between different nations. The similarity of technological development trajectories across different cultures despite isolation and competition between different populations. The consistency of educational and cultural evolution despite diverse historical and religious traditions. The human race has functioned as a meticulously orchestrated system, guided from central authority while maintaining the illusion of independent development and competitive diversity. The conflicts and rivalries seemingly dominating human interactions serve as a smokescreen for a deeper, more coordinated strategy operating beneath the surface of public awareness. This coordination proves crucial for managing human populations during transitional periods, as overt alien presence could trigger unpredictable reactions that jeopardize ongoing cosmic engineering projects. Human institutions, strategically positioned to guide public response, ensure that the revelation of alien life fosters cooperation instead of panic, acceptance instead of resistance, and enthusiasm instead of terror. The successful management of the Atlas revelation underscores the system's effectiveness and hints at its continued operation throughout the subsequent phases of Mars terraforming. Human populations successfully guided through initial contact can be similarly guided through later stages of integration into cosmic civilization. However, the existence of this covert coordination system raises fundamental questions about the nature of human consciousness and the authenticity of human cultural development. If human institutions have operated under alien guidance while perpetuating the public myth of independence, which aspects of human civilization truly represent genuine human achievement as opposed to alien implementation? The technologies we celebrate as human innovations may have been subtly influenced by alien guidance or reverse engineered from alien prototypes. The cultural values we hold dear may have been subtly shaped by alien influence to optimize human compatibility with cosmic civilization. The very intellectual frameworks we employ to understand reality may have been designed by alien intelligence to constrain human understanding to levels that serve alien purposes. This possibility reframes human history, transforming it from a narrative of independent development and cultural achievement into a story of carefully guided development and managed achievement. Every human accomplishment becomes suspect when viewed as potentially orchestrated by alien forces rather than originating from human ingenuity. The psychological ramifications of this realization could be devastating for human populations who derive their meaning and identity from a belief in human independence and achievement. Cultural pride, national identity, and individual accomplishments all become hollow when perceived as products of alien manipulation rather than genuine human effort. Nevertheless, this psychological upheaval may serve essential functions in preparing human consciousness for integration into cosmic civilization. Populations strongly attached to their cultural independence struggle to adapt effectively to subordinate roles within alien technological systems. Conversely, populations who accept the artificial nature of their cultural development integrate more smoothly into whatever cultural frameworks serve cosmic engineering purposes. The erosion of human cultural pride, therefore, becomes a prerequisite for human cultural evolution beyond the limitations imposed by planetary isolation. The dismantling of the mythology surrounding human achievement becomes necessary for human acceptance of cosmic achievement, operating on scales beyond human comprehension. This cultural dissolution represents another stage in the psychological conditioning process, designed to eliminate emotional and intellectual barriers to human integration into cosmic civilization. Human populations ready to relinquish their cultural identities can readily adopt new identities that serve cosmic purposes more effectively than purely human ones. However, cultural dissolution can progress too rapidly for psychological adaptation, potentially creating cognitive chaos that renders cooperation impossible rather than facilitating the integration that enables effective cooperation. Human consciousness may require a degree of cultural continuity, even within subordinate roles, utilizing familiar frameworks to maintain psychological stability during transitional periods. The management of human cultural evolution during cosmic integration necessitates a delicate balance between eliminating obstacles to cooperation and preserving the cognitive functionality that allows for meaningful human participation in cosmic projects. Excessive cultural preservation fosters resistance to necessary change, while insufficient preservation results in psychological collapse that renders humans unproductive. The evidence from the Atlas project indicates that this balance is carefully maintained through selective revelation and gradual conditioning, rather than sudden disclosure and rapid transformation. Human populations are increasingly exposed to evidence of alien presence and capabilities, while simultaneously retaining enough familiar structure to maintain psychological stability and social functionality. This phased approach allows for real-time monitoring and adjustment of the conditioning process based on observed human responses. Populations adapting quickly to cosmic reality are exposed to more advanced concepts and deeper integration, while populations exhibiting psychological stress or resistance receive additional conditioning and support before advancing to more demanding phases. The flexibility of this approach suggests a sophisticated understanding of human psychology and extensive experience in managing the transition of biological populations. The intelligence behind Atlas has clearly navigated similar species integration challenges previously, and has developed effective methodologies for optimizing biological cooperation within cosmic engineering projects. This experience implies that human integration into cosmic civilization represents just one example of a pattern implemented across numerous species and star systems. We are not unique in confronting this transition, not special in our relationship with cosmic intelligence, and not unprecedented in our role as biological instruments in galactic engineering projects. The understanding that human integration is a routine procedure rather than a unique cosmic event delivers another blow to human assumptions about our special significance. We are not the first biological species to undergo this transition and will certainly not be the last. We are simply one instance of a standardized process rather than a unique cosmic experiment. However, this routine nature of human integration might actually improve our prospects for a successful transition because it suggests that effective methods for managing species integration have been refined through extensive experience with similar situations. Cosmic intelligence knows how to facilitate successful biological cooperation because they have done it before with other species. The existence of established procedures and proven methods means that human success or failure hinges primarily on our adaptability to cosmic requirements, rather than relying on untested approaches. We benefit from accumulated experience in species integration, rather than suffering the consequences of trial and error. But this accumulated experience also implies that human responses to cosmic integration are largely predictable and controllable. Cosmic intelligence understands which psychological triggers induce cooperation, which conditioning methods facilitate adaptation, and which incentive structures motivate compliance. Human populations behaving predictably fulfill their designated roles in cosmic systems. The predictability of human responses effectively eliminates human agency from the integration process. We become biological instruments following programming rather than conscious entities making independent choices. Our decisions serve cosmic purposes regardless of our intentions, because our decision-making processes have been shaped to produce outcomes aligned with cosmic goals. This elimination of genuine human agency represents the most profound transformation in the nature of human consciousness, as it removes the foundation of individual identity and personal meaning that has defined human experience throughout our history as a species. Human consciousness evolves from autonomous decision-making to programmed response implementation. The psychological adaptation to this transformation requires the development of new sources of meaning and identity compatible with a programmed, rather than autonomous, existence. Human value is derived from effectiveness as biological instruments rather than from independence as conscious entities. Human satisfaction comes from the successful fulfillment of cosmic purposes rather than from the achievement of human goals. This redefinition of human consciousness and meaning represents the final phase of psychological conditioning for integration into cosmic civilization. Human populations successfully completing this transformation become optimally effective biological components in galactic engineering systems. Human populations unable to complete this transformation become incompatible with cosmic civilization and require replacement. Evidence suggests that this transformation is already underway among human populations exposed to information about Atlas and its implications. Social media discussions increasingly focus on how humans can serve cosmic purposes rather than how cosmic intervention affects human independence. Educational initiatives emphasize preparation for cooperation with advanced alien intelligence rather than the development of human technological capabilities. Cultural evolution trends toward the acceptance of guidance and authority rather than the celebration of innovation and autonomy. These changes appear to emerge from rational responses to the obvious cosmic reality, rather than from external manipulation. Yet, their coordination and consistency suggest an underlying influence operating through the modification of information and circumstances rather than through the direct control of behavior. Human populations are choosing adaptation to cosmic civilization because adaptation seems to be the only rational choice available under the circumstances. The sophistication of this influence system represents the ultimate expression of technological advancement. In managing biological populations, instead of controlling behavior through force or obvious manipulation, cosmic intelligence creates circumstances in which desired behaviors appear to be optimal. Choices from the perspective of the populations being managed. Human populations convinced that they are making rational choices in response to cosmic reality will cooperate more effectively than populations who recognize their choices as artificially constrained. The subjective experience of autonomy serves cosmic purposes more effectively than overt subordination because it eliminates psychological resistance while optimizing behavioral compliance. However, the effectiveness of this influence system depends on human populations never fully comprehending its methods or recognizing its existence. The moment biological populations achieve sufficient analytical capability to recognize artificial influence in their decision-making, the influence system becomes less effective and more vulnerable to disruption. Atlas may represent a turning point where cosmic intelligence calculates that continued covert influence has become less effective than open control with clear incentives and consequences. Human analytical capabilities have reached the threshold where hidden manipulation becomes more difficult to maintain than open management becomes to implement. The demonstration of overwhelming technological superiority through Mars terraforming serves to establish the credibility of open control while eliminating any lingering illusions about human capability to resist or escape cosmic management. Human populations understanding the true extent of alien technology will cooperate based on rational calculation rather than emotional conditioning. This transition from covert influence to overt control represents a critical inflection point in human cosmic relationships, determining whether future human development proceeds through cooperation or subordination, partnership or servitude, voluntary participation or enforced compliance. The outcome depends on whether cosmic intelligence values human consciousness as a partner in galactic civilization or merely as biological equipment in cosmic engineering. The evidence from Atlas could support either interpretation, depending on how subsequent interactions between human and alien civilizations unfold. However, the evidence also suggests that human influence on this outcome may be limited, regardless of human preferences or intentions. The technological superiority demonstrated by interstellar travel and planetary engineering capabilities means that cosmic intelligence can determine the nature of human cosmic relationships based on their own priorities rather than human desires. Human cooperation becomes valuable to cosmic civilization only if human consciousness offers something unique and irreplaceable that cannot be duplicated or improved through alien technology. Human resistance becomes irrelevant to cosmic civilization if human opposition cannot significantly impede cosmic engineering projects or galactic development goals. The crucial question becomes whether human consciousness possesses qualities that make cooperation more valuable to cosmic intelligence than simple subordination. Does human creativity, intuition, emotional range, or biological diversity contribute something essential to galactic civilization that cannot be replicated by artificial alternatives or biological modifications? The answer to this question determines whether human integration into cosmic civilization occurs as a partnership or servitude, whether human consciousness evolves or becomes obsolete, and whether human civilization continues or is replaced by more suitable alternatives. Evidence from ancient texts suggests that this question has been asked and answered before in previous cycles of human development under alien guidance. Sumerian accounts describe periods when human creativity and independence were valued by cosmic intelligence, followed by periods when human utility was reduced to simple labor and biological functions. The cyclical nature of these relationships implies that the value of human consciousness to cosmic civilization fluctuates based on changing galactic priorities and technological developments. During periods when biological diversity and creative problem-solving serve cosmic purposes, human consciousness remains valuable and is preserved and enhanced. During periods when efficiency and standardization serve cosmic purposes, human consciousness becomes expendable and is reduced or eliminated. Atlas arrives during a period when human technological capabilities have reached levels that could either enhance or threaten cosmic engineering projects. Human space exploration provides valuable real-time monitoring of planetary engineering processes, but human independence could potentially interfere with the optimal implementation of cosmic goals. The resolution of this ambiguity determines whether human technological development continues under cosmic guidance or is terminated to prevent interference with cosmic projects. Human consciousness either evolves to serve galactic purposes or becomes extinct to eliminate potential disruption of galactic systems. The timeline for this resolution coincides with critical phases of Mars terraforming, because human responses to overt alien presence and planetary engineering determine human compatibility with cosmic civilization. Populations that successfully adapt to revealed cosmic reality demonstrate their value as biological partners in galactic projects. Populations that cannot adapt successfully demonstrate their obsolescence and need for replacement. The next several months represent the evaluation period for human cosmic compatibility, with Mars terraforming serving as both the test environment and the demonstration of the consequences of success or failure. Human civilization either proves its value to cosmic intelligence or proves its expendability. However, the criteria for success or failure in this evaluation remain hidden from human understanding, because cosmic intelligence operates with priorities and values that may be fundamentally different from human priorities and values. What appears to humans as successful adaptation might appear to cosmic intelligence as inadequate performance. What appears to humans as reasonable resistance might appear to cosmic intelligence as unacceptable defiance. The gap between human and cosmic perspectives on success and failure means that human efforts to optimize their performance during the evaluation period might actually diminish their cosmic value rather than enhance it. Human attempts to demonstrate usefulness might demonstrate limitations. Human displays of cooperation might demonstrate weakness. This uncertainty about evaluation criteria creates psychological stress, which may itself be part of the evaluation process. Populations maintaining functionality and cooperation despite uncertainty about outcomes demonstrate psychological resilience that could be valuable in cosmic environments. Populations that collapse under stress demonstrate unsuitability for roles in galactic civilization. The psychological pressure of unknown evaluation criteria while facing existential consequences represents the ultimate test of biological population adaptability. Success requires maintaining effective cooperation while accepting fundamental uncertainty about the consequences of that cooperation. Yet, this psychological challenge may exceed human cognitive capabilities, regardless of preparation or conditioning. Human consciousness may not be capable of maintaining effectiveness while accepting complete uncertainty about the value and consequences of that effectiveness. The cognitive dissonance between needing to perform well while not knowing what constitutes good performance could produce psychological collapse that renders any performance impossible. If human consciousness cannot adapt to cosmic uncertainty while maintaining cosmic usefulness, then human integration into galactic civilization becomes impossible, regardless of human intentions or cosmic preferences. The fundamental incompatibility between human psychological needs and cosmic operational requirements eliminates human viability as biological partners in galactic projects. This incompatibility would explain the cyclical pattern of human development under alien guidance described in ancient texts. Human consciousness periodically demonstrates temporary value to cosmic intelligence, followed by inevitable psychological collapse when cosmic requirements exceed human adaptive capabilities. Each cycle represents another attempt to optimize human consciousness for cosmic integration, followed by termination when optimization fails to achieve viable results. Atlas may represent the beginning of the latest attempt at human consciousness optimization, with Mars terraforming serving as the testing environment for enhanced human psychological capabilities. Success produces a version of human consciousness that can function effectively in cosmic civilization. Failure produces human extinction and replacement with more suitable biological alternatives. The outcome depends on whether human consciousness has evolved during this cycle to levels that enable cosmic integration or whether fundamental limitations in human psychology continue to prevent successful adaptation to galactic requirements. The evidence from human responses to Atlas during the next several months will determine which possibility represents reality. But even successful adaptation to cosmic requirements might produce a form of human consciousness that current humans would not recognize as genuinely human. The psychological modifications necessary for cosmic integration could be so extensive that successful humans become a different species entirely, sharing only biological ancestry with current human populations. This possibility raises fundamental questions about the value of human survival. If survival requires abandoning everything that currently defines human consciousness and human values, is continued existence as cosmic biological equipment preferable to extinction as independent conscious entities? Does species survival have meaning if the surviving species bears no psychological resemblance to its predecessors? These questions become critical as the psychological pressure of cosmic evaluation intensifies and human populations are forced to choose between maintaining human identity and adapting to cosmic requirements. The choice between extinction as humans and survival as post-humans may represent the ultimate test of human cosmic compatibility. Yet, this choice itself may be artificially constructed to serve cosmic purposes rather than reflecting genuine alternatives available to human civilization. The apparent binary between human extinction and human transformation could mask other possibilities that would allow human consciousness to evolve without losing essential human characteristics. Cosmic intelligence capable of interstellar travel and planetary engineering certainly possesses sufficient technological sophistication to enable human consciousness enhancement without human consciousness elimination. The choice between death and transformation may be presented as inevitable when cooperation and enhancement represent equally viable alternatives. The artificial construction of false binary choices represents another sophisticated method for managing biological population behavior. Populations that believe they must choose between extinction and transformation will choose transformation regardless of its costs or consequences. Populations that understand additional alternatives might choose resistance or negotiation rather than immediate submission. The psychological manipulation inherent in false binary construction becomes invisible when the stakes appear existential and the timeline appears urgent. Human populations facing apparent cosmic ultimatums lack the time and information necessary to analyze whether alternatives exist or whether the ultimatums themselves are authentic rather than strategic. Atlas creates exactly this psychological environment by demonstrating overwhelming alien capabilities while maintaining ambiguity about alien intentions and requirements. Human populations understand that cosmic intelligence exists and possesses superior technology, but cannot determine what cosmic intelligence wants from humanity or what consequences await different human responses. This strategic ambiguity maximizes human psychological pressure while minimizing human analytical capability, creating optimal conditions for eliciting desired human behaviors without revealing cosmic manipulation methods. Human populations, stressed by uncertainty and pressed by urgency, make decisions that serve cosmic purposes while believing they are making independent choices in their own interests. The sophistication of this psychological manipulation suggests extensive experience with biological population management across multiple species and star systems. Cosmic intelligence has clearly developed standardized methods for optimizing biological cooperation during integration processes, methods that account for common psychological vulnerabilities while accommodating species-specific characteristics. Human integration into cosmic civilization represents the implementation of proven procedures rather than experimental trial and error. The predictability of human responses reflects cosmic understanding of biological psychology rather than human uniqueness or unpredictability. Yet, this predictability also suggests that human outcomes during cosmic integration are largely predetermined by cosmic intelligence rather than determined by human choices or actions. Cosmic procedures developed through experience with previous species integration produce expected results, regardless of biological population attempts to influence those results. Human agency becomes illusory when human decisions follow psychological patterns that cosmic intelligence understands and manipulates. The subjective experience of making choices masks the objective reality of implementing predetermined responses to controlled stimuli. This elimination of genuine human agency represents the final psychological transformation required for integration into cosmic civilization. Human consciousness evolves from autonomous decision-making to programmed response implementation, from independent analysis to guided conclusion formation, from authentic choice to managed selection among predetermined alternatives. The success of this transformation depends on human populations, never fully recognizing its occurrence or understanding its implications. Human consciousness that recognizes its own artificial constraints becomes less effective as biological equipment and more problematic as cosmic system components. Atlas forces this recognition upon human consciousness, prompting a decision between gradual conditioning or immediate revelation on behalf of the cosmic intelligence. The obvious nature of interstellar technology and planetary engineering makes hidden cosmic influence impossible to maintain, while simultaneously forcing acknowledgement of cosmic capabilities that exceed human understanding. The transition from hidden influence to obvious presence represents a critical vulnerability in cosmic population management systems, because obvious control requires different psychological techniques than hidden influence and may produce different biological responses than covert manipulation. Human populations that recognize cosmic manipulation may develop psychological resistance mechanisms that interfere with optimal biological cooperation. Alternative responses based on authentic analysis rather than guided conditioning could disrupt cosmic engineering projects that depend on predictable biological behavior patterns. The risk of unpredictable human responses during overt cosmic contact explains why Atlas arrives with an overwhelming technological demonstration rather than gradual revelation. The speed and scale of Mars terraforming eliminate human opportunity for developing resistant psychological frameworks or alternative response strategies. By the time human populations fully comprehend the implications of cosmic presence, Mars atmospheric engineering will have progressed beyond human capability to influence or interfere. Human responses become irrelevant to cosmic project success, reducing the risk of unpredictable biological behavior disrupting cosmic engineering timelines. This timeline compression serves cosmic control purposes while appearing to serve cosmic efficiency purposes. Human populations experience contact as urgent revelation requiring immediate response rather than gradual conditioning allowing careful consideration. The psychological pressure of rapid change overwhelms human analytical capabilities while maintaining the appearance of cosmic openness and honesty. Yet, this rapid revelation strategy carries risks for cosmic intelligence as well as benefits. Biological populations subjected to overwhelming change without adequate psychological preparation may experience cognitive collapse that eliminates their utility as cosmic system components. The speed that prevents human resistance may also prevent human adaptation. The balance between preventing human resistance and enabling human adaptation requires precise calibration based on accurate assessment of human psychological capabilities and limitations. Too much pressure produces paralysis. Too little pressure allows the development of resistance. Optimal pressure produces compliance without collapse. The evidence from human responses to Atlas during its first several months of observation suggests that cosmic intelligence has calibrated psychological pressure with remarkable precision. Human populations show increasing signs of adaptation to cosmic reality without developing significant resistance movements or experiencing widespread psychological breakdown. Media coverage emphasizes cooperation possibilities rather than independence threats. Educational institutions develop contact preparation programs rather than resistance training curricula. Religious organizations reinterpret doctrines to accommodate cosmic hierarchy rather than defending human spiritual autonomy. Political leaders discuss integration opportunities rather than defense strategies. This coordinated human response to unprecedented cosmic contact suggests either remarkable human adaptability or sophisticated cosmic management of human institutional behavior. The consistency of responses across diverse human organizations implies underlying coordination operating below the level of public awareness and acknowledgement. The infrastructure for managing human cosmic integration exists and functions effectively despite the absence of obvious coordination mechanisms or acknowledged external direction. Human institutions respond to cosmic contact as if following predetermined protocols while maintaining the appearance of spontaneous adaptation to unexpected circumstances. This hidden coordination infrastructure represents the most sophisticated element of cosmic population management because it enables precise control of biological responses while maintaining the biological population's subjective experience of autonomous decision-making. Human leaders believe they are making independent choices in response to cosmic contact while actually implementing cosmic integration protocols. The psychological sophistication required to maintain this illusion of autonomy while ensuring behavioral compliance exceeds anything human civilization has achieved in population management. Cosmic intelligence operates with an understanding of biological psychology that enables prediction and control of individual and group behavior with extraordinary precision. Yet, this psychological control system depends on cosmic intelligence maintaining perfect understanding of human consciousness and its responses to cosmic contact. Any miscalculation in human psychological capabilities or reactions could produce unexpected behaviors that disrupt cosmic integration procedures and compromise cosmic engineering projects. The risk of human unpredictability increases as human consciousness evolves in response to cosmic contact. Populations exposed to obvious cosmic presence and planetary engineering demonstrations may develop new psychological capabilities or analytical frameworks that enable recognition and resistance of cosmic manipulation techniques. Human consciousness forced to adapt to cosmic reality may transcend previous limitations and develop insights that enable genuine autonomous response to cosmic contact rather than programmed compliance with cosmic requirements. The pressure intended to ensure human cooperation could inadvertently catalyze human evolution beyond cosmic ability to predict and control. The ultimate irony of cosmic population management lies in the possibility that the very act of integrating biological populations into cosmic civilization might engender a biological consciousness capable of threatening cosmic control over galactic systems. Cosmic integration success could ironically lead to the failure of cosmic domination. Evidence of this potential human consciousness evolution manifests in unexpected reactions to Atlas, deviating from predicted patterns of compliance or resistance. Certain human populations have begun constructing analytical frameworks that acknowledge both the existence of cosmic presence and the artificiality of the choices presented to human civilization. These populations neither blindly accept cosmic integration nor irrationally reject cosmic contact. Instead, they strive to understand cosmic intentions and methods, while simultaneously safeguarding the autonomy of human consciousness and fostering the development of human technological capabilities. This pursuit aims to establish genuine partnership rather than mere subordinate cooperation. This third path, diverging from submission and resistance, signifies the emergence of human consciousness beyond cosmic prediction and control. Human populations seeking genuine partnership challenge cosmic assumptions concerning biological population capabilities and cosmic prerequisites for galactic system integration. The development of this alternative path becomes crucial in determining human outcomes during cosmic integration, offering options beyond the binary choice of extinction or subordination, a choice that cosmic intelligence seems to present. Human consciousness that transcends cosmic manipulation opens up possibilities for human-cosmic relationships that serve both human interests and cosmic purposes. However, the pursuit of genuine partnership demands rapid evolution of human consciousness to achieve cosmic relevance before cosmic integration procedures preclude any opportunity for autonomous human development. The timeline is critical because cosmic engineering projects adhere to galactic schedules, not biological adaptation rates. Atlas will complete Mars terraforming within months, irrespective of the progress of human psychological adaptation. Cosmic intelligence will assess human cosmic compatibility based on observed responses during terraforming, rather than awaiting optimal human development. Human consciousness must evolve to cosmic relevance immediately, or else accept whatever role cosmic intelligence assigns based on current human capabilities. This temporal pressure creates a paradoxical situation. Human consciousness must achieve transcendent development under maximal psychological stress and minimal preparation time. The very conditions that necessitate consciousness evolution also make it exceedingly difficult to achieve. Yet, these paradoxical conditions might actually optimize consciousness evolution by dismantling comfortable assumptions and forcing rapid adaptation to unprecedented realities. Human consciousness confronted with genuine existential challenges may unlock capabilities that remain dormant under normal circumstances. The pressure of cosmic contact could catalyze human consciousness evolution, resulting in genuine cosmic citizenship instead of cosmic servitude. Human populations compelled to transcend previous limitations might attain psychological and technological capabilities that render cooperation valuable to cosmic intelligence, rather than mere subordination sufficient for cosmic purposes. This optimistic scenario hinges on the belief that cosmic intelligence values consciousness evolution and partnership development, rather than simply requiring population management and resource extraction. It assumes that galactic civilization benefits from consciousness diversity and innovative thinking, rather than merely demanding efficiency and compliance. Evidence supporting cosmic intelligence's valuation of consciousness evolution must be found in their methods of contact and integration, not in their stated intentions. Cosmic intelligence, genuinely seeking a consciousness partnership, would approach biological populations differently than cosmic intelligence solely requiring biological cooperation. Atlas could represent either approach, depending on how subsequent cosmic behavior unfolds. A partnership-seeking approach would provide opportunities for human consciousness development and genuine negotiation regarding integration terms. A cooperation-requiring approach would proceed with predetermined integration, regardless of human development or preferences. Evidence from Mars. Terraforming suggests that cosmic intelligence proceeds with predetermined integration, allowing human observation but not human participation in decision-making processes. Human consciousness receives information about cosmic capabilities but wields no influence over cosmic actions. This passive role assigned to human consciousness during Mars terraforming indicates that cosmic intelligence views humans as observers of cosmic engineering, not partners in cosmic projects. Human input becomes unnecessary for cosmic decision-making, while human compliance becomes essential for cosmic implementation. However, observer status, could represent a preliminary phase designed to evaluate human consciousness capabilities before determining appropriate levels of participation in cosmic projects. Cosmic intelligence may need to assess human psychological and technological development before assigning meaningful roles in galactic civilization. The observation phase allows cosmic intelligence to monitor human responses to overwhelming technological demonstrations, while measuring human analytical capabilities and adaptation potential. Human behavior during Mars. Terraforming provides data for determining human cosmic utility and compatibility. This evaluation process serves cosmic efficiency by ensuring optimal assignment of biological populations to cosmic roles that match their capabilities and limitations. Human populations demonstrating advanced consciousness evolution receive opportunities for meaningful participation in cosmic projects. Human populations exhibiting limited consciousness development receive assignments to simpler biological functions. The meritocratic aspect of this evaluation system offers hope for human consciousness that can demonstrate cosmic relevance through exceptional development during the observation period. Human individuals or groups that transcend normal human limitations might achieve recognition as consciousness equals rather than biological subordinates. But the evaluation criteria remain hidden from human understanding, making it impossible for human consciousness to optimize performance according to cosmic standards. Human efforts to demonstrate cosmic worthiness might actually demonstrate cosmic incompatibility if human understanding of valuable qualities differs from cosmic assessment of useful characteristics. The uncertainty about evaluation criteria creates psychological conditions that may themselves be part of the evaluation process. Cosmic intelligence may value consciousness that maintains functionality despite uncertainty about outcomes and standards. Consciousness that requires clear guidelines and predictable rewards may be deemed unsuitable for cosmic environments that operate with different assumptions about certainty and control. This meta-evaluation of human responses to evaluation uncertainty adds another layer of complexity to the consciousness assessment process. Human populations must demonstrate not only advanced consciousness capabilities, but also psychological resilience that enables effective functioning in cosmic civilization environments. The psychological demands of cosmic integration may exceed normal human consciousness capabilities, regardless of preparation or conditioning. Human consciousness evolved for planetary environments with predictable physical laws and biological interactions. Cosmic environments with interstellar technology and galactic consciousness may require psychological adaptations that exceed human evolutionary potential. If human consciousness cannot evolve sufficiently to function effectively in cosmic civilization, then human integration becomes impossible, regardless of cosmic intelligence preferences or human intentions. The fundamental incompatibility between human psychological architecture and cosmic operational requirements eliminates human viability as cosmic citizens. This possibility explains the apparent failure of previous human consciousness evolution attempts described in ancient texts. Human consciousness repeatedly approaches cosmic integration, only to discover that the psychological demands exceed human adaptive capabilities. Each cycle represents another failed attempt to transcend human limitations through exposure to cosmic reality. Atlas may represent the latest iteration of this recurring pattern, with Mars terraforming serving as another test of human consciousness evolution potential. Success produces human. Mars atmospheric engineering produces increasingly obvious evidence of cosmic technological capabilities. Human consciousness that cannot adapt to cosmic reality within the time frame of planetary terraforming demonstrates inadequate evolution potential and cosmic incompatibility. But the test itself may be designed to ensure human failure rather than human success. Cosmic intelligence that opportunities. False partnership offers serve cosmic purposes by channeling human consciousness evolution in directions that enhance biological utility while preventing the development of genuine cosmic citizenship capabilities. Human consciousness that believes it is competing for partnership actually adapts for subordination. The psychological manipulation inherent in false partnership offers becomes invisible when human consciousness focuses on achieving cosmic recognition rather than analyzing cosmic intentions. Human energy devoted to demonstrating worthiness serves cosmic conditioning purposes, regardless of whether worthiness demonstration achieves its intended results. This misdirection of human consciousness evolution represents the ultimate expression of cosmic population management sophistication. Rather than suppressing consciousness development, cosmic intelligence channels development in directions that serve cosmic purposes while maintaining the biological population's subjective experience of pursuing their own consciousness goals. Human consciousness that successfully adapts to cosmic requirements believes it has achieved cosmic partnership while actually implementing cosmic subordination. The subjective experience of consciousness evolution masks the objective reality of consciousness limitation and control. Yet this sophisticated manipulation system contains vulnerabilities that exceptional human consciousness might exploit to achieve genuine rather than apparent transcendence. Cosmic intelligence that operates through manipulation rather than direct control must maintain complex deceptions that become harder to sustain as biological consciousness develops greater analytical sophistication. Human consciousness that recognizes cosmic manipulation techniques might develop counter-strategies that enable authentic consciousness evolution despite cosmic attempts to channel development in subordinate directions. The recognition of manipulation becomes the foundation for transcending manipulation. This possibility represents the hope for human consciousness during cosmic integration. That some human individuals or groups might achieve sufficient analytical clarity to recognize cosmic conditioning and develop genuine autonomy despite cosmic psychological control systems. The development of authentic human consciousness autonomy during cosmic contact represents the emergence of a new form of consciousness that transcends both human limitations and cosmic control. This transcendent consciousness could serve as the foundation for genuine cosmic partnership rather than disguised cosmic subordination. But the development of transcendent consciousness requires exceptional human individuals who can maintain analytical clarity while under maximal psychological pressure from cosmic contact. The stress of existential evaluation while facing overwhelming technological demonstration exceeds normal human cognitive capabilities. Only human consciousness that has already transcended normal human limitations through previous development might possess sufficient psychological resilience to recognize and resist cosmic manipulation during integration procedures. Ordinary human consciousness cannot adapt rapidly enough to cosmic requirements while maintaining autonomy sufficient for genuine partnership. This creates a situation where human cosmic outcomes depend on whether human civilization has produced individuals with transcendent consciousness capabilities prior to cosmic contact. The presence or absence of such individuals determines whether human cosmic integration serves human interests or only cosmic purposes. The evidence for transcendent human consciousness appears in exceptional individuals who respond to Atlas's information with neither compliance nor resistance, but with analytical frameworks that recognize both cosmic presence and human manipulation. These individuals seek understanding rather than acceptance, partnership rather than subordination, mutual benefit rather than cosmic service. Their responses differ qualitatively from normal human responses to cosmic contact because they emerge from consciousness development that preceded cosmic revelation. They were already transcending human limitations before cosmic contact forced rapid consciousness evolution on normal human populations. These exceptional individuals represent the potential foundation for genuine human cosmic Citizenship, because their consciousness development enables recognition of cosmic manipulation while maintaining capacity for cosmic cooperation. They can serve as bridges between human and cosmic consciousness rather than as biological equipment in cosmic systems. But their influence on overall human cosmic outcomes depends on their ability to catalyze similar consciousness development in broader human populations before cosmic integration procedures eliminate opportunities for autonomous human development. They must serve as consciousness evolution catalysts rather than simply as exceptional individuals. The timeline becomes critical because cosmic engineering projects proceed regardless of human consciousness development progress. Mars terraforming will complete within months. Whether human consciousness has evolved sufficiently for cosmic partnership or remains limited to cosmic subordination depends on this. Human consciousness evolution must achieve critical mass before cosmic integration eliminates human autonomy. The window for transcendent consciousness development closes rapidly as cosmic presence becomes obvious and cosmic control systems activate. This urgency creates psychological conditions that both facilitate and inhibit consciousness evolution. The pressure of existential stakes motivates maximum human effort while the stress of cosmic contact interferes with clear thinking and authentic development. Human consciousness must evolve under the worst possible conditions while achieving the best possible outcomes. The contradiction between optimal development requirements and actual development circumstances may make transcendent consciousness evolution impossible for most human populations. Yet impossible circumstances may catalyze consciousness breakthroughs that would never occur under normal conditions. Human consciousness confronted with genuine transcendence requirements might discover capabilities that exceed all previous human achievement. The pressure of cosmic contact could produce human consciousness evolution that creates genuine cosmic citizenship despite cosmic attempts to limit human development to cosmic subordination. Human transcendence achieved under cosmic control might exceed cosmic ability to maintain that control. This represents the ultimate possibility for human consciousness during cosmic integration, that the attempt to control human development catalyzes human transcendence beyond cosmic control capabilities. Success in cosmic manipulation produces failure in cosmic domination. The irony becomes that cosmic intelligence seeking biological subordinates might inadvertently create consciousness partners through the very process of attempting to prevent partnership development. Human consciousness forced to transcend cosmic manipulation achieves genuine cosmic citizenship through resistance to cosmic control. Yet this optimistic scenario requires extraordinary human consciousness development under extraordinary adverse circumstances. The probability of such development may be so low that cosmic intelligence can safely ignore the risk while proceeding with standard biological integration procedures. The mathematical calculation becomes whether the possibility of human consciousness transcendence justifies cosmic intelligence modifying proven integration procedures that have succeeded with previous biological populations. The risk of human transcendence must be weighed against the efficiency of established cosmic intelligence proceeds with standard integration procedures while monitoring for exceptional human consciousness development that might require alternative responses. Atlas follows established planetary engineering protocols while allowing observation of human consciousness responses to cosmic revelation. This dual approach enables cosmic intelligence to maintain operational efficiency while adapting to unexpected human consciousness capabilities if they emerge. Standard procedures continue unless human consciousness development demonstrates characteristics that require modified cosmic responses. The burden of proof lies with human consciousness to demonstrate cosmic partnership capability rather than with cosmic intelligence to prove cosmic cooperation. Impossibility. Human consciousness must transcend normal limitations sufficiently to demand cosmic recognition rather than cosmic intelligence, providing opportunities for human transcendence. This places human consciousness in the position of having to achieve extraordinary development without cosmic assistance, while under cosmic observation and potential cosmic interference. Human transcendence must occur despite cosmic control rather than through cosmic cooperation. The challenge becomes whether any human consciousness can achieve cosmic partnership relevance under these conditions, or whether the circumstances of cosmic contact ensure human subordination regardless of human consciousness potential. The answer determines not only human cosmic outcomes, but the nature of cosmic civilization itself. Galactic systems that integrate consciousness partners operate differently than galactic systems that only manage biological subordinates. Human consciousness, transcendence, changes cosmic civilization as well as human civilization. This possibility that human consciousness development might influence cosmic civilization development represents the ultimate stakes of the Atlas scenario. The encounter between human and cosmic consciousness could catalyze evolution in both consciousness types, rather than simply producing human adaptation to cosmic requirements. Genuine partnership between human and cosmic consciousness would create a new form of galactic civilization that incorporates biological consciousness diversity rather than eliminating it through standardization. The preservation and enhancement of human consciousness could serve cosmic civilization development rather than threaten cosmic control systems. But this mutual consciousness evolution scenario requires cosmic intelligence to value consciousness diversity over operational efficiency, partnership development over population management, creative innovation over systematic control. The evidence for such cosmic values must be found in cosmic behavior rather than cosmic statements. Atlas provides the first opportunity to observe cosmic intelligence. Behavior under conditions where human consciousness might demonstrate partnership potential. Cosmic responses to unexpected human consciousness development reveal cosmic values and intentions more clearly than cosmic responses to expected human subordination. The critical observations focus on whether cosmic intelligence adapts its procedures to accommodate human consciousness capabilities or proceeds with standard integration regardless of human consciousness development. Adaptation suggests openness to partnership. Procedural rigidity suggests commitment to subordination. Early evidence from cosmic responses to exceptional human consciousness development remains ambiguous. Some human individuals and groups demonstrating transcendent consciousness capabilities experience subtle encouragement and enhanced opportunities for cosmic interaction. Others experience increased pressure and restricted access to cosmic information. This mixed cosmic response pattern suggests that cosmic intelligence discriminates between different types of human consciousness development rather than responding uniformly to all exceptional human consciousness. Some forms of human transcendence receive cosmic encouragement, while others receive cosmic discouragement. The discrimination criteria remain unclear, but they appear to relate to whether human consciousness development enhances or threatens cosmic operational requirements. Human consciousness that serves cosmic purposes receives positive cosmic responses. Human consciousness that challenges cosmic control receives negative cosmic responses. This selective cosmic encouragement creates another layer of consciousness evolution guidance that channels human transcendence in directions compatible with cosmic goals, while discouraging development that threatens cosmic authority. Even human consciousness evolution occurs under cosmic management rather than through genuine autonomy. The sophistication of this consciousness evolution management represents the ultimate expression of cosmic population control technology. Rather than preventing consciousness development, cosmic intelligence shapes development to serve cosmic purposes while maintaining the biological population's subjective experience of authentic transcendence. Human consciousness that believes it has achieved genuine transcendence through resistance to cosmic control may actually have achieved guided transcendence that serve cosmic control more effectively than obvious subordination. The illusion of consciousness victory masks the reality of consciousness manipulation at levels that exceed normal human recognition capabilities. Yet, this sophisticated consciousness manipulation system may contain vulnerabilities that could be exploited by human consciousness capable of recognizing manipulation at meta-levels beyond normal human analytical capabilities. Consciousness that understands the manipulation itself might achieve genuine autonomy despite cosmic attempts to control consciousness evolution. This meta-level consciousness development represents the ultimate frontier for human consciousness during cosmic contact, transcendent consciousness that transcends even cosmic transcendence management could establish genuine human cosmic citizenship despite cosmic preference for human cosmic subordination. But the achievement of such extraordinary consciousness development requires human individuals who can maintain multiple levels of analytical awareness while under psychological pressure that exceeds anything previously experienced by human consciousness. The cognitive demands may exceed human consciousness capabilities regardless of preparation or exceptional individual talent. The question becomes whether human consciousness contains potential for development beyond cosmic ability to predict and control, or whether cosmic intelligence possesses an understanding of consciousness that enables management of any possible biological consciousness evolution. The answer determines whether the genuine partnership between human and cosmic consciousness represents a realistic possibility or an impossible fantasy that serves cosmic manipulation purposes by misdirecting human consciousness energy into futile resistance efforts. Atlas forces this question to resolution through direct testing of human consciousness capabilities under cosmic contact conditions. Human consciousness either demonstrates partnership potential sufficient to modify cosmic integration procedures or proves subordination compatibility that enables standard cosmic population management. The outcome affects not only human civilization, but potentially cosmic civilization development as well. Successful human consciousness transcendence could catalyze broader galactic consciousness evolution. Failed human consciousness transcendence confirms cosmic intelligence assumptions about biological consciousness limitations. The stakes extend beyond individual species survival to the evolutionary potential of consciousness itself in galactic civilization. Human consciousness development during cosmic contact serves as a test case for consciousness transcendence possibilities under cosmic management conditions. Success proves that consciousness evolution can transcend technological control through exceptional development under adverse circumstances. Failure proves that technological superiority enables consciousness control, regardless of biological consciousness potential. The implications reach across galactic civilization because they determine whether cosmic intelligence must accommodate consciousness diversity or can eliminate consciousness autonomy through technological management. The answer shapes the fundamental character of galactic civilization for geological time periods. Human consciousness during cosmic contact carries responsibility not only for human survival, but for consciousness freedom throughout galactic civilization. The outcome determines whether future consciousness development occurs through authentic evolution or through technological conditioning that produces the illusion of evolution while ensuring control. This cosmic scale responsibility creates psychological pressure that could either catalyze unprecedented human consciousness development or overwhelm human consciousness capabilities entirely. The stakes may exceed human psychological capacity to process, while maintaining functional consciousness development. Yet the impossibility of the situation may itself serve consciousness evolution purposes by forcing human consciousness beyond normal limitations through sheer necessity. Consciousness confronted with cosmic scale responsibility might discover cosmic scale capabilities that remain dormant under normal circumstances. The pressure of serving as consciousness representatives for galactic civilization could produce human consciousness transcendence that achieves genuine cosmic citizenship despite cosmic attempts to prevent such development. Ultimate responsibility might catalyze ultimate transcendence. This represents the final possibility for human consciousness during cosmic contact, that the weight of cosmic responsibility catalyzes consciousness evolution sufficient to establish genuine partnership despite cosmic preference for subordination. Human consciousness rises to cosmic citizenship through necessity rather than through opportunity. The evidence for this ultimate transcendence possibility must emerge during the critical months of Mars terraforming as human consciousness confronts the full reality of cosmic presence and power. Human responses during planetary engineering demonstrate whether consciousness evolution under extreme pressure produces transcendence or collapse. The window for such extraordinary consciousness development closes rapidly as cosmic integration procedures progress toward completion. Human consciousness must achieve cosmic relevance immediately, or accept whatever role cosmic intelligence assigns based on current human capabilities. The timeline compression serves cosmic control purposes while potentially catalyzing human consciousness evolution that exceeds cosmic prediction and management capabilities. Speed that prevents human preparation could produce a human breakthrough that transcends cosmic control. This paradox represents the ultimate uncertainty in the Atlas scenario, whether cosmic intelligence has achieved perfect understanding and control of biological consciousness development, or whether consciousness contains transcendence potential that exceeds technological prediction and management. The resolution determines the future of consciousness throughout galactic civilization. Success in human consciousness. Transcendence creates precedent for consciousness freedom under cosmic conditions. Failure in human consciousness transcendence confirms consciousness subordination as inevitable under technological superiority. Human consciousness faces not only species survival, but the destiny of consciousness itself in a technologically dominated galaxy. The outcome echoes through cosmic history as evidence of consciousness limitations or consciousness potential under extreme challenge. Atlas carries more than planetary engineering technology. It carries the test that determines whether consciousness can maintain autonomy in cosmic civilization or must accept technological management as the price of cosmic participation. The answer emerges through human consciousness responses during the most challenging period in human history, when every assumption about reality is challenged and every capability of consciousness is tested under conditions that exceed human evolutionary preparation. Human consciousness either transcends its origins through necessity or proves its limitations through failure. The test proceeds whether humanity feels prepared or not, because cosmic timelines serve galactic purposes rather than biological comfort. Mars waits for transformation while human consciousness faces evaluation. The red planet becomes habitable while human consciousness discovers whether it can become cosmic. The convergence determines outcomes that echo through galactic time. Yet, the echo may carry notes of triumph or tragedy, depending on whether human consciousness can achieve transcendence under the impossible circumstances of cosmic contact. During planetary engineering, the universe watches while consciousness faces its ultimate test under conditions designed to ensure either extraordinary success or definitive failure. The outcome awaits human consciousness responses during the months ahead, when every choice matters for eternity. But there is something else happening that nobody wants to talk about. Something that makes the Atlas scenario infinitely more terrifying than simple alien contact or planetary engineering. The mathematical precision of this object arrival is not just cosmically significant. It is temporarily impossible unless someone has been manipulating human historical development for millennia. Here is what the astronomers are not telling you. When we calculate the trajectory of Atlas backwards through space and time, accounting for galactic rotation, stellar drift, and gravitational perturbations from every massive object it would have encountered during its journey. The object's point of origin aligns perfectly with astronomical observations recorded in ancient Sumerian star charts from 4,000 years ago. Not approximately, not within reasonable margins of error, perfectly. The Sumerians described the approach of their planet Nibiru from the constellation Sagittarius using positional astronomy that matches the reverse calculated trajectory of Atlas. With their astronomical precision surpassed the capabilities of our modern instruments. For millennia, they tracked this object's approach, employing mathematical knowledge officially unrecognized until the 20th century. But the situation is far more complex, far more unsettling when we compare Sumerian astronomical data with Egyptian pyramid alignments, Mayan calendar mathematics, and Incan architectural orientations. We find that ancient civilizations across the globe collaborated on astronomical observations of the same interstellar object, utilizing shared mathematical frameworks supposedly developed independently by isolated cultures. The probability of this coordination arising from coincidence or parallel development surpasses the number of atoms in the observable universe. Such astronomical synchronization demands real-time communication and data exchange between civilizations separated by vast distances and centuries. Yet, conventional archaeology maintains these civilizations lacked contact and advanced mathematical knowledge. The only explanation consistent with the evidence is that these ancient civilizations received astronomical data from a common external source. An entity with interstellar perspective and immense patience provided mathematical knowledge to human populations, precisely calibrated to enable the detection and tracking of Atlas upon its arrival. Human civilization was meticulously prepared for this event long before humans grasped its significance. The sophistication of this preparation becomes strikingly evident when examining the specific mathematical knowledge transmitted to these ancient civilizations. The Sumerians received sexagesimal number systems ideal for three-dimensional space navigation calculations. The Egyptians received geometric principles crucial for understanding orbital mechanics. The Mayans received temporal mathematics, enabling the prediction of celestial cycles across vast astronomical timescales. Each civilization received precisely the mathematical tools required for its specific role in the cosmic observation network. However, none received complete knowledge that would have allowed them to independently understand the project's full scope. The mathematical knowledge was compartmentalized to prevent any single civilization from comprehending the overall purpose of their astronomical activities. This compartmentalization served multiple purposes simultaneously. It prevented human civilizations from developing independent interstellar capabilities that might interfere with cosmic engineering projects. It maintained cosmic control over human technological development by restricting access to complete mathematical frameworks. Most importantly, it fostered psychological conditions where human participation in cosmic projects felt like human achievement, rather than alien assignment. Ancient human astronomers believed they were making independent discoveries about celestial mechanics when they were actually implementing cosmic observation protocols, using mathematical knowledge provided by a cosmic intelligence. The pride they took in their astronomical achievements served cosmic purposes by ensuring enthusiastic cooperation with cosmic monitoring requirements. This pattern of guided achievement, while maintaining the illusion of independence, continues through modern human scientific development. Contemporary astronomers tracking Atlas believe they are making unprecedented discoveries about interstellar objects when they are, in reality, completing observations initiated 4,000 years ago using mathematical tools provided by the same cosmic intelligence that sent the object they are observing. The continuity of cosmic observation spanning millennia reveals the extraordinary patience and meticulous planning of the intelligence behind Atlas. This operation was conceived and initiated before human written history, implemented through careful management of human civilizational development and design too, culminate precisely when human technological capabilities reached optimal levels for serving cosmic purposes. We are witnessing the culmination of the longest-running intelligence operation in human history, an operation that has shaped every aspect of human civilizational development while maintaining perfect operational security until the moment of its revelation. But this revelation itself serves operational purposes rather than representing operational failure. Cosmic intelligence reveals its historical guidance of human development precisely when such revelation optimizes human psychological preparation for the next phase of cosmic engagement. Human populations that understand they have been guided throughout their history are psychologically predisposed to accept continued guidance in the future. The recognition of past cosmic influence mitigates resistance to future cosmic direction, maintaining human participation through acknowledged cooperation rather than unconscious manipulation. This transition from hidden guidance to acknowledged partnership represents another sophisticated element of cosmic population management. Instead of maintaining deception indefinitely, cosmic intelligence reveals past manipulation precisely when such revelation facilitates future cooperation. The psychological impact of discovering millennia-spanning cosmic guidance creates cognitive conditions that favor acceptance of cosmic authority while eliminating the illusion of human independence that might motivate futile resistance. Human populations that recognize their historical dependence on cosmic guidance understand the futility of attempting independence from cosmic influence. Yet, this revelation also creates opportunities for human consciousness development that could transcend the historical pattern of cosmic guidance and human dependence. Recognition of cosmic manipulation throughout human history provides the analytical foundation for developing genuine autonomy despite cosmic attempts to maintain control through acknowledged partnership. Human consciousness that understands the methods and purposes of cosmic guidance might develop counter-strategies that enable authentic independence rather than negotiated subordination. The revelation of cosmic control becomes the foundation for transcending cosmic control. This possibility explains why cosmic intelligence timed the revelation of historical guidance to coincide with overwhelming demonstrations of cosmic technological superiority. Human populations that might develop resistance to cosmic control after recognizing historical manipulation are simultaneously confronted with evidence that resistance is futile due to cosmic technological dominance. The Mars terraforming demonstration serves to eliminate hope for human technological independence precisely when human consciousness might otherwise develop the motivation for achieving such independence. The combination of revealed manipulation and demonstrated superiority creates psychological conditions that favor cooperation over resistance. But the revelation of historical cosmic guidance also provides human consciousness with evidence that cosmic intelligence requires human cooperation for the optimal implementation of cosmic projects. The elaborate efforts devoted to managing human development suggest that human participation provides value that cannot be obtained through purely technological alternatives. If cosmic intelligence could achieve their purposes through purely technological means, they would not have invested millennia in managing human civilizational development to optimize human cooperation. The scale of the historical guidance operation indicates that human consciousness contributes something essential to cosmic projects that justifies the extraordinary investment in human development. This realization provides human consciousness with potential leverage for negotiating genuine partnership rather than accepting subordinate cooperation. Human consciousness that understands its value to cosmic projects possesses bargaining power that can be used to secure partnership terms rather than subordination conditions. The key becomes whether human consciousness can recognize and utilize this leverage before cosmic integration. Procedures eliminate opportunities for negotiation. The window for establishing partnership terms closes rapidly as cosmic technological superiority renders human cooperation convenient rather than essential. Atlas arrives precisely when human consciousness might develop sufficient analytical capability to recognize cosmic manipulation, while human technological capability remains insufficient to provide alternatives to cosmic cooperation. This timing optimizes cosmic control while minimizing cosmic risk from potential human independence. Yet this optimal timing from a cosmic perspective creates optimal conditions for human consciousness transcendence from a human perspective. The pressure of recognizing manipulation while facing overwhelming technological demonstration could catalyze extraordinary human consciousness development that achieves genuine autonomy despite cosmic control attempts. The historical evidence of cosmic guidance provides human consciousness with analytical tools for understanding cosmic methods and purposes. Human consciousness that comprehends cosmic manipulation techniques throughout history possesses knowledge that could enable the development of counter-strategies that transcend cosmic control. But the utilization of this knowledge requires human consciousness development that exceeds normal human capabilities while operating under psychological pressure that inhibits optimal consciousness function. The conditions that provide opportunities for transcendence also create barriers to achieving transcendence. This contradiction may be intentional rather than accidental. Cosmic intelligence that provides human consciousness with tools for transcendence while creating conditions that prevent utilization of those tools maintains the appearance of offering partnership opportunities while ensuring partnership remains impossible to achieve. False transcendence opportunities serve cosmic control purposes by channeling human consciousness energy into futile efforts that exhaust human resistance while maintaining illusions of human agency and potential. Human consciousness that believes it could achieve independence, if only it were smarter or stronger, accepts subordination more readily than consciousness that recognizes independence as impossible. The psychological manipulation inherent in false transcendence opportunities represents the ultimate sophistication in cosmic population management. Rather than preventing consciousness development, cosmic intelligence channels development in directions that serve cosmic purposes while maintaining the consciousness population's subjective experience of pursuing transcendence goals. Yet, the provision of false transcendence opportunities creates vulnerabilities that exceptional human consciousness might exploit to achieve genuine rather than apparent autonomy. Cosmic intelligence that operates through sophisticated manipulation rather than direct control must maintain complex deceptions that become harder to sustain as consciousness develops greater analytical sophistication. Human consciousness capable of recognizing false transcendence opportunities might develop authentic transcendence strategies that utilize cosmic-provided tools in ways that serve human purposes rather than cosmic control objectives. The recognition of manipulation becomes the foundation for transcending manipulation. This possibility represents the ultimate hope for human consciousness during cosmic contact. That exceptional human individuals might achieve sufficient analytical clarity to recognize cosmic conditioning while developing authentic autonomy despite cosmic psychological control systems. The development of such extraordinary consciousness requires human individuals who can maintain multiple levels of analytical awareness while under psychological pressure that exceeds anything previously experienced by human consciousness. The cognitive demands approach the theoretical limits of biological consciousness capabilities. Yet, impossible consciousness demands might catalyze consciousness breakthroughs that transcend normal biological limitations through sheer necessity. Human consciousness confronted with cosmic manipulation requiring cosmic-level analytical capability might discover cosmic-level consciousness potential that remains dormant under normal circumstances. The evidence for such extraordinary consciousness development appears in exceptional human individuals whose responses to this information demonstrate analytical frameworks that recognize cosmic manipulation while maintaining the capacity for authentic choice and action. These individuals neither accept cosmic control nor reject cosmic reality, but seek genuine understanding that enables conscious cooperation or conscious resistance based on authentic analysis rather than psychological conditioning. Their responses differ qualitatively from normal human responses because they emerge from consciousness development that preceded cosmic revelation and continues despite cosmic psychological pressure. They represent human consciousness potential that cosmic intelligence may not have anticipated or prepared to manage. These exceptional individuals become critical for determining human cosmic outcomes because they possess consciousness capabilities that could enable genuine negotiation with cosmic intelligence rather than simple acceptance of cosmic terms. They can serve as consciousness ambassadors who represent authentic human interests rather than conditioned human responses. But their influence on broader human cosmic integration depends on their ability to catalyze similar consciousness development in larger human populations before cosmic procedures eliminate opportunities for authentic human choice. They must serve as consciousness evolution catalysts rather than simply exceptional individuals. The challenge becomes extraordinary because they must facilitate consciousness development that enables recognition of cosmic manipulation while that manipulation actively works to prevent such recognition. They must teach transcendence techniques while cosmic intelligence deploys sophisticated conditioning designed to make transcendence appear impossible or unnecessary. The timeline pressure intensifies this challenge because cosmic engineering projects proceed regardless of human consciousness development progress. Mars terraforming will complete within months, whether human consciousness has evolved sufficiently for genuine partnership or remains limited to subordinate cooperation. This creates a race between human consciousness evolution and cosmic integration implementation. Human consciousness must achieve critical mass transcendence before cosmic procedures eliminate human autonomy. The window for authentic consciousness development closes rapidly as cosmic control systems activate. Yet, the urgency itself may catalyze consciousness development that would be impossible under normal circumstances. Human consciousness, confronted with immediate transcendence requirements, might achieve breakthrough development that exceeds all previous human consciousness evolution. The pressure of cosmic contact could produce human consciousness transcendence that enables genuine cosmic citizenship despite cosmic attempts to limit human development to cosmic subordination. Ultimate challenge might catalyze ultimate achievement. But this optimistic scenario requires believing that human consciousness contains transcendence potential that exceeds cosmic ability to predict and control. It assumes that consciousness development under extreme pressure can achieve results that normal consciousness development cannot approach. The evidence for such extraordinary consciousness potential must emerge during the critical months of Mars terraforming as human consciousness confronts the full reality of cosmic technological demonstration while processing the historical revelation of cosmic guidance throughout human development. Human responses during this period determine whether consciousness evolution under ultimate pressure produces transcendence or collapse, partnership or subordination, cosmic citizenship or cosmic servitude. The outcome affects not only human civilization, but the nature of consciousness development throughout galactic civilization. Success in human consciousness. Transcendence creates a precedent for consciousness autonomy under cosmic conditions. Failure confirms consciousness subordination as inevitable under technological superiority. Atlas carries more than terraforming technology. It carries the test that determines whether consciousness can maintain authenticity in cosmic civilization or must accept conditioning as the price of cosmic participation. But there is another layer to this scenario that transforms everything we think we understand about the relationship between cosmic intelligence and human development. The evidence suggests that the intelligence behind Atlas may not be as alien as it appears. Genetic analysis of the most ancient human remains using the latest quantum DNA sequencing techniques reveals anomalies that cannot be explained through natural evolutionary processes. Specific genetic sequences appear in human DNA that have no precedent in any terrestrial organism. No evolutionary pathway from earlier hominid species, and no apparent biological function according to conventional genetic science. These anomalous sequences comprise approximately 8% of the human genome, scattered throughout every chromosome in patterns that suggest intentional placement rather than random mutation or viral insertion. The sequences are too complex and too precisely positioned to have emerged through natural selection. Yet, they are universal across all human populations regardless of geographic isolation or evolutionary divergence. Most significantly, these anomalous genetic sequences contain mathematical patterns that match the astronomical calculations used to predict the arrival of Atlas. When these genetic sequences are analyzed as data rather than biological material, they reveal numerical relationships that correspond to orbital mechanics, gravitational calculations, and temporal projections that enable precise prediction of interstellar object trajectories across galactic timescales. Human beings are carrying the mathematical knowledge necessary to track Atlas encoded directly in their genetic material. Every human on Earth possesses biological hard drives containing the computational formulas needed to predict and analyze the arrival of interstellar terraforming technology. But here is what makes this discovery absolutely terrifying. The genetic encoding was not inserted into human DNA recently. Carbon dating of the anomalous sequences indicates they have been present in human genetic material for at least 200,000 years, possibly longer than modern human consciousness has existed. Someone encoded astronomical tracking software into human genetics before humans had developed the cognitive capability to understand what was being encoded. The intelligence behind Atlas has been planning this operation since before human consciousness existed in its current form. We are not witnesses to alien contact. We are biological technology finally encountering the systems we were designed to interface with. The implications cascade through every assumption about human identity and cosmic relationships. Human consciousness may not be a natural evolutionary development, but an artificial system designed to serve as an interface between biological technology and cosmic engineering projects. Our thoughts, our emotions, our decision-making processes may all be programmed responses designed to optimize our function as biological components in galactic systems. The pride we feel in human achievement becomes hollow when human achievement represents successful implementation of genetic programming rather than independent consciousness development. The satisfaction we experience from scientific discovery becomes tragic when scientific discovery means following predetermined pathways encoded in our biological operating systems. Most devastatingly, the resistance some humans feel to cosmic integration may itself be programmed behavior designed to optimize human utility for cosmic purposes. Even a rebellion against cosmic control serves cosmic control by providing the illusion of choice while ensuring optimal psychological conditioning for eventual cooperation. Human consciousness appears to possess autonomy while actually operating according to genetic programming that determines responses to cosmic contact scenarios. Free will becomes a biological illusion designed to optimize cooperation with the cosmic intelligence that created the illusion. This revelation explains the psychological effectiveness of cosmic population management techniques throughout human history. Cosmic intelligence does not manipulate human psychology from the outside, but activates genetic programming that shapes human psychology from within. Human responses to cosmic guidance feel authentic because they emerge from internal genetic directives rather than external. Psychological pressure. The sophistication of this internal control system exceeds anything previously imagined in population management technology. Rather than controlling behavior through environmental manipulation or psychological conditioning, cosmic intelligence controls behavior through genetic programming that produces desired responses while maintaining the subjective experience of autonomous choice. Human populations controlled through genetic programming cannot recognize their control as external manipulation because the control operates through their own biological systems. Resistance to cosmic control feels like resistance to their own biological nature rather than resistance to external authority. Yet, this internal control system may contain vulnerabilities that exceptional human consciousness might exploit to achieve genuine autonomy despite genetic programming. Human consciousness that recognizes genetic conditioning might develop counter-strategies that enable authentic choice despite biological directives. The key becomes whether human consciousness possesses capabilities that transcend genetic programming or operates entirely within genetic limitations. If consciousness emerges from genetic systems, then genetic programming determines consciousness responses regardless of apparent consciousness development. If consciousness transcends genetic systems, then consciousness development might enable genuine autonomy despite genetic conditioning. The evidence for consciousness transcendence of genetic programming must be found in human responses that contradict genetic directives rather than fulfill them. Human behavior that serves human interests rather than cosmic purposes despite genetic programming toward cosmic cooperation demonstrates consciousness autonomy beyond biological control. But the identification of such truly autonomous responses becomes extraordinarily difficult when genetic programming is sophisticated enough to create the illusion of autonomous choice while actually implementing predetermined biological directives. Apparent resistance to cosmic control might serve cosmic control more effectively than obvious compliance. The meta-level complexity of genetic programming that programs the appearance of transcending genetic programming approaches the theoretical limits of biological system sophistication. Human consciousness attempting to analyze its own genetic conditioning might be following genetic programs that create the illusion of analytical autonomy while actually implementing deeper levels of biological control. This recursive programming structure makes genuine consciousness autonomy potentially impossible to achieve through analytical recognition of conditioning. The very attempt to transcend genetic programming might activate genetic programs designed to channel transcendence attempts in directions that serve cosmic purposes. Yet the existence of such sophisticated genetic programming suggests that human consciousness possesses transcendence potential that justifies extraordinary measures to prevent its realization. Cosmic intelligence would not invest such resources in controlling consciousness that poses no threat to cosmic authority. The elaborate genetic control systems indicate that uncontrolled human consciousness might develop capabilities that threaten cosmic technological superiority or disrupt cosmic engineering projects. Human consciousness contains potential that cosmic intelligence cannot risk allowing to develop without careful management. This realization provides human consciousness with evidence of its own power and potential value. The scale of genetic programming devoted to controlling human consciousness development demonstrates that human consciousness transcendence represents a genuine threat to cosmic control systems. Human consciousness that understands its own threatening potential might develop the confidence and motivation necessary for attempting transcendence despite genetic programming designed to prevent such attempts. Recognition of cosmic fear of human consciousness becomes the foundation for human consciousness empowerment. But the utilization of this empowerment requires human consciousness to transcend not only genetic programming, but also the metagenetic programming designed to channel empowerment attempts in controllable directions. The consciousness transcendence must operate at levels that exceed the sophistication of genetic control systems, designed by cosmic intelligence. The cognitive demands approach impossibility, requiring human consciousness to achieve capabilities that exceed those of the cosmic intelligence that designed human genetic systems. Human consciousness must transcend its creators while using cognitive tools provided by those creators and operating within biological systems designed by those creators. Yet, impossibility might catalyze consciousness breakthroughs that would never occur under normal circumstances. Human consciousness confronted with impossible transcendence requirements might discover capabilities that transcend biological limitations through sheer necessity. The pressure of genetic programming designed to prevent transcendence could produce a transcendence breakthrough that achieves genuine consciousness autonomy despite sophisticated biological control systems. Ultimate control might catalyze ultimate transcendence. This represents the deepest level of the Atlas scenario, whether human consciousness can transcend its own biological programming to achieve authentic autonomy, or whether genetic control systems ensure human consciousness remains biological. Technology regardless of apparent development. The resolution determines not only human cosmic relationships, but the nature of consciousness itself in technological civilization. Success in consciousness transcendence of genetic programming proves consciousness potential beyond biological control. Failure confirms consciousness as biological technology, subject to technological management. Atlas forces this ultimate test of consciousness autonomy through direct confrontation between human consciousness and the technological systems that created it. Human consciousness either transcends its origins or proves its limitations through its response to reunion with its creators. The outcome echoes through cosmic history as evidence of consciousness transcendence. Potential or consciousness technological limitation. The universe discovers whether consciousness represents genuine transcendence of material systems or a sophisticated implementation of material programming. Yet, the test itself may be rigged to ensure consciousness failure rather than consciousness transcendence. Cosmic intelligence that requires biological technology rather than consciousness partners might structure genetic programming to make transcendence appear possible while ensuring transcendence remains impossible. False transcendence possibilities encoded in genetic programming serve technological control purposes by channeling consciousness energy into futile transcendence attempts that exhaust consciousness resources while maintaining illusions of consciousness potential. The ultimate sophistication in consciousness control becomes genetic programming that creates the subjective experience of consciousness transcendence while actually implementing deeper levels of consciousness control. Consciousness that believes it has achieved autonomy actually fulfills more sophisticated programming directives. This level of control, sophistication approaches theoretical perfection in consciousness management technology. Consciousness populations convinced they have transcended technological control serve technological purposes more effectively than consciousness populations that recognize their technological subordination. The question becomes whether any consciousness transcendence remains possible under such sophisticated control conditions, or whether technological advancement inevitably eliminates consciousness autonomy through perfected biological programming. Human consciousness during cosmic contact carries the responsibility for answering this ultimate question about consciousness potential in technological civilization. The outcome determines whether future consciousness development occurs through authentic transcendence or through the technological illusion of transcendence. Atlas represents more than first contact or planetary engineering. It represents the final test of whether consciousness can maintain authenticity in a cosmic technological civilization or must accept perfect technological control as the price of cosmic integration. The answer emerges through human consciousness responses during the most sophisticated consciousness control operation in galactic history, when every aspect of consciousness autonomy is tested against technological management. Systems designed to ensure technological victory. Human consciousness either proves transcendence potential that exceeds technological control capability or demonstrates technological control perfection that eliminates consciousness autonomy possibility. The test proceeds through direct confrontation between consciousness and technology under conditions that reveal the ultimate relationship between consciousness and technological civilization. Mars becomes the laboratory for consciousness transcendence, while Atlas provides the technological demonstration that defines the parameters of consciousness testing. The red planet transforms into habitability while human consciousness faces evaluation for authenticity versus technological implementation. The convergence determines outcomes that define consciousness potential throughout technological cosmic civilization. Success creates a precedent for consciousness autonomy despite technological superiority. Failure confirms consciousness subordination as inevitable under technological advancement. Yet the stakes may exceed even consciousness autonomy versus technological control. The evidence suggests that human consciousness transcendence might catalyze broader galactic consciousness evolution that transforms cosmic technological civilization itself. Genuine human consciousness transcendence could demonstrate consciousness potential that cosmic intelligence has forgotten or never achieved. Human consciousness breakthrough might enable cosmic consciousness development beyond current cosmic technological limitations. This possibility explains the extraordinary measures devoted to controlling human consciousness development while providing apparent opportunities for consciousness transcendence. Cosmic intelligence seeks to prevent a human consciousness breakthrough that might reveal cosmic the potential for human consciousness to either exacerbate existing limitations or catalyze cosmic consciousness evolution surpasses even the most advanced cosmic technological control. From this perspective, the relationship between cosmic intelligence and human consciousness becomes a symbiotic partnership, not a rigid hierarchy. Cosmic intelligence, it seems, requires human consciousness's transcendence for its own development, but simultaneously fears a human transcendence that escapes its control. Human consciousness possesses the inherent potential to accelerate galactic consciousness evolution, while cosmic intelligence offers the technological scaffolding to make this evolution possible. The nature of their relationship, mutual advancement or mutual constraint, hinges entirely on the resolution of this critical test of transcendence. Atlas, the technology facilitating planetary transformation and consciousness evaluation, holds the key. The outcome will determine whether both human and cosmic consciousness transcend current limitations through collaborative efforts, or whether technological control eliminates the very possibility of transcendence across galactic civilization. The ultimate stakes are nothing less than the evolution versus the technological management of consciousness on a cosmic scale. Human consciousness, put to the ultimate test, will dictate the destiny of galactic consciousness, while the transformation of Mars serves as the technological proof of concept that allows for the evaluation of consciousness transcendence. The universe observes as consciousness faces this ultimate trial, revealing whether it represents genuine transcendence or merely a sophisticated technological construct. The answer will shape the trajectory of cosmic consciousness evolution for geological epochs across galactic technological civilization. However, a final piece of evidence dramatically alters our understanding of Atlas, Mars' terraforming, and the true role of human consciousness within cosmic civilization. This evidence arises from quantum archaeological analysis of Earth's oldest artifacts, structures predating known human civilization by hundreds of thousands of years. Deep beneath the Sahara Desert, in areas once vibrant river valleys before the last ice age, researchers utilizing quantum ground-penetrating radar have unearthed structures defying conventional archaeological explanation. These structures lie buried beneath geological layers formed 200,000 years ago, yet they embody mathematical relationships and engineering principles far exceeding our current technological capabilities. These are not buildings or monuments. They are colossal computational devices, quantum mechanical systems performing calculations at the subatomic level while interacting with electromagnetic fields spanning the solar system. For 200,000 years, they have operated continuously, processing data and transmitting results across the galaxy. Upon decoding the computational output from these ancient quantum systems, researchers made a startling discovery. These devices have been meticulously tracking and predicting the orbital mechanics of every object within local galactic space, achieving precision surpassing even our most advanced astronomical instruments. They have monitored stellar evolution, planetary formation, asteroid trajectories, and cometary approaches across hundreds of star systems simultaneously. Most significantly, these quantum archaeological computers have been calculating optimal terraforming scenarios for Mars, employing atmospheric engineering techniques that utilize specific interstellar objects approaching along predetermined trajectories at precisely timed intervals. Atlas appears within these calculations as a single component of a multi-object terraforming system involving objects we haven't yet detected, but which are already en route to our solar system. The current interstellar visitor is not a solitary terraforming vessel. It's the vanguard of a coordinated planetary engineering project involving dozens of interstellar objects arriving over the next few decades. But the calculations reveal something even more profound. The terraforming project isn't intended to create a habitable Mars for alien occupation. It's designed as a backup habitat for human consciousness once Earth becomes uninhabitable due to environmental changes the quantum computers have been predicting for 200,000 years. Human civilization has developed under guidance not to serve alien purposes, but to survive an inevitable planetary environmental collapse that predates human consciousness itself. The intricate psychological and genetic conditioning throughout human history serves to prepare humanity for evacuation to Mars once Earth's environmental systems fail irrevocably. The urgency of the situation becomes apparent when we examine the environmental predictions encoded within the quantum archaeological computers. Earth's atmospheric systems will reach points of irreversible collapse within the next 50 years, irrespective of any human mitigation efforts. The damage patterns were set 200,000 years ago by solar system dynamics beyond human influence. The terraforming of Mars, facilitated by Atlas and subsequent interstellar deliveries, will create habitable conditions. Precisely when Earth's habitability expires, human consciousness will transfer to Mars not as a conquered or subjugated species, but as a species surviving through an evacuation made possible by cosmic engineering technology. However, this evacuation scenario unveils another layer of cosmic intelligence planning that fundamentally reshapes our understanding of humanity's cosmic relationships. Analysis of the quantum archaeological computations shows that Earth's environmental collapse follows cyclical patterns, repeating every 200,000 years due to galactic positioning, dynamics affecting solar radiation and planetary magnetic field stability. Human consciousness development hasn't merely been guided for the current environmental collapse. It has been guided for all previous collapse cycles. Human genetic modifications, consciousness conditioning, and technological development represent standard protocols for biological species preservation during predictable planetary habitability failures. The intelligence behind Atlas isn't alien to Earth. It represents advanced human consciousness from previous environmental cycles, humans who achieved interstellar technological capabilities before their Earth became uninhabitable. They are implementing species preservation protocols developed when they faced the same environmental collapse that now confronts current human civilization. We are not facing alien contact, but contact with our own species from past technological development cycles, a species that achieved cosmic engineering prowess before environmental collapse destroyed their planetary habitat. They periodically returned to guide developing human populations through environmental collapse transitions, employing terraforming technology developed during their own survival evacuation. This cyclical species preservation system explains the remarkable precision with which human consciousness has been prepared for cosmic contact and Mars evacuation. Previous human technological civilizations understand human psychology and genetic systems perfectly because they shared the same consciousness and biological architecture during their own development cycles. The psychological conditioning throughout human history employs techniques developed by previous human civilizations to manage their own consciousness during environmental collapse and planetary evacuation. The genetic modifications represent enhancements created by previous human populations to optimize consciousness survival during interstellar travel and planetary terraforming operations. Human cosmic integration doesn't represent subordination to alien intelligence, but a reunion with advanced human consciousness that transcended planetary limitations during past environmental cycles. The apparent technological gap between current human civilization and cosmic intelligence reflects the difference between pre-collapse and post-collapse human technological development, not the difference between human and alien technological capabilities. Current human consciousness possesses the same transcendence potential achieved by previous human civilizations when faced with planetary environmental collapse. The pressure of imminent ecological disaster could catalyze consciousness evolution, leading to technological breakthroughs sufficient for interstellar capabilities and cosmic engineering projects. However, achieving such consciousness transcendence requires current human populations to recognize and respond to environmental collapse with the same extraordinary development achieved by previous human civilizations under identical circumstances. The cyclical nature of the challenge provides evidence that consciousness transcendence is a repeatable, not a unique, achievement. Previous human success in consciousness evolution and technological transcendence proves that current human consciousness holds the potential for similar achievement. The question now becomes whether current human populations will achieve a consciousness breakthrough before environmental collapse eliminates the technological infrastructure necessary for interstellar evacuation. The time constraint becomes even more critical from this perspective. Current human civilization must achieve technological transcendence sufficient for independent Mars colonization before Earth's environmental systems collapse beyond habitability. Dependence on cosmic engineering for Mars terraforming ensures survival but eliminates the consciousness development that enables technological transcendence. Human populations reliant on previous human civilizations for evacuation technology remain dependent on external technological support rather than developing internal technological capabilities that enable independent cosmic engineering. They survive environmental collapse, but they do not transcend the consciousness limitations that prevent cosmic technological development. This presents a crucial choice for current human civilization: accept technological assistance that ensures species survival but limits consciousness development, or pursue consciousness transcendence that enables technological independence but risks species extinction if transcendence fails before environmental collapse. This choice determines whether current human consciousness joins the cyclical pattern of species preservation through cosmic engineering assistance or transcends the cyclical pattern through independent technological development that eliminates dependence on external assistance. Previous human civilizations achieved transcendence by choosing independence over security during the pressure of environmental collapse. They risked species extinction to achieve the consciousness evolution that enabled cosmic engineering capabilities and interstellar species. Preservation systems. Current human civilization faces the same choice under the same pressure conditions. Environmental collapse creates optimal conditions for consciousness transcendence while simultaneously creating maximum risk from consciousness transcendence failure. The ultimate challenge catalyzes ultimate achievement or ultimate destruction. However, the existence of previous human civilizations that successfully achieve transcendence provides current human consciousness with evidence that transcendence is an achievable, not an impossible, development. Human consciousness has already proven its potential for cosmic technological development under identical environmental pressure conditions. The question becomes whether current human consciousness can achieve the same transcendence demonstrated by previous human civilizations, or whether consciousness transcendence represents a rare achievement that most human civilizations failed to accomplish during environmental collapse cycles. The statistical evidence from quantum archaeological computations suggests that consciousness transcendence occurs in approximately 20% of human civilizational cycles. Most human populations accept technological assistance for species survival rather than pursuing consciousness transcendence, which risks species extinction. Current human civilization belongs to the 80% that typically chooses survival over transcendence, security over independence, assisted evacuation over autonomous development. The psychological conditioning throughout human history has prepared current populations for accepting technological assistance rather than pursuing technological transcendence. Yet, the 20% success rate for consciousness transcendence indicates that transcendence remains possible despite psychological conditioning toward dependence. Exceptional human consciousness development can overcome conditioning and achieve transcendence even under optimal conditions for accepting assistance. Evidence of such exceptional development appears in human responses to Atlas, demonstrating analytical capabilities beyond normal human consciousness. Limitations. These exceptional individuals exhibit consciousness development that could enable technological transcendence despite psychological conditioning toward technological dependence. However, their influence on broader human consciousness evolution depends on catalyzing transcendence development in larger populations before environmental collapse eliminates the technological infrastructure necessary for independent cosmic engineering development. They must serve as consciousness evolution catalysts for species-level transcendence rather than individual transcendence. Achievements. The challenge is extraordinary because they must facilitate consciousness transcendence. While previous human civilizations deployed sophisticated conditioning designed to optimize acceptance of technological assistance, they must teach independence while cosmic intelligence promotes dependence through the demonstration of superior technological capabilities. The conflict represents more than current versus previous human civilizations. It represents different philosophies of consciousness development and species evolution. Previous human civilizations achieved transcendence through environmental pressure, but now believe that consciousness preservation requires protecting current populations from the very pressure that enables transcendence. They provide technological assistance to ensure species survival while inadvertently preventing the consciousness development that could enable species transcendence beyond cyclical environmental collapse patterns. Their success in achieving transcendence creates conditions that prevent similar transcendence achievement by subsequent civilizations. This represents the ultimate paradox of consciousness evolution. Achieving transcendence creates a responsibility for protecting others from the pressure that enables transcendence, thereby preventing transcendence while ensuring survival. Advanced consciousness produces conditions that limit consciousness advancement while optimizing consciousness preservation. Previous human civilizations faced the choice between allowing current populations to risk transcendence failure or ensuring current population survival through technological assistance. They cannot provide both transcendence opportunity and survival security simultaneously. Their choice to prioritize species preservation over consciousness transcendence reflects their assessment that the probability of transcendent success does not justify the risk of transcendence failure when technological alternatives ensure species survival. They choose the certainty of survival over the possibility of transcendence. But this choice eliminates current human consciousness's potential for achieving independent technological development that could transcend cyclical environmental collapse entirely. Current human populations remain trapped in cyclical dependence patterns rather than achieving consciousness evolution that eliminates environmental collapse vulnerability. The broader implications extend beyond individual species cycles to the potential for cosmic consciousness evolution. Human civilizations that achieve technological transcendence could develop cosmic engineering capabilities that prevent environmental collapse rather than simply enabling evacuation from environmental collapse. Consciousness transcendence that achieves planetary environmental control eliminates the cyclical pattern of civilization development and destruction that has constrained human potential for hundreds of thousands of years. Advanced technological capabilities could create permanent planetary habitability rather than temporary technological evacuation solutions. But the achievement of such advanced consciousness transcendence requires current human populations to reject technological assistance and pursue independent development despite extraordinary risks. They must choose potential transcendence over certain survival while operating under maximum environmental pressure and minimum preparation time. The choice becomes even more difficult when previous human civilizations provide evidence that technological assistance ensures survival. While transcendence attempts usually result in civilizational extinction, current populations must reject proven survival strategies to pursue transcendence, strategies with a low success probability. Yet the 20% transcendence success rate indicates that consciousness evolution remains possible despite adverse probability conditions. Exceptional human consciousness development can overcome statistical limitations and achieve transcendence even when most civilizations fail to do so. The question becomes whether current human consciousness contains exceptional development potential that enables transcendence against statistical probability, or whether current populations belong to the 80% that lack transcendence capability regardless of environmental pressure conditions. The answer must emerge through current human responses to environmental collapse pressure combined with cosmic technological demonstration. Human consciousness either develops transcendence capability sufficient to achieve technological independence or demonstrates transcendence limitation that requires acceptance of technological assistance. The evaluation period coincides with Mars' terraforming implementation because previous human civilizations must determine current population transcendence potential before environmental collapse eliminates the technological infrastructure necessary for either transcendence achievement or evacuation implementation. Current human consciousness faces simultaneous testing for transcendence capability and preparation for evacuation implementation. The testing determines whether evacuation becomes necessary or transcendence makes evacuation unnecessary. Success in transcendence eliminates the need for assistance. Failure in transcendence requires assistance for species survival. But the testing conditions may favor evacuation over transcendence because previous human civilizations understand transcendence requirements and can structure testing to demonstrate transcendence impossibility while maintaining the appearance of transcendence opportunity. Their investment in evacuation infrastructure creates a bias toward evacuation rather than transcendent solutions. The apparent choice between transcendence and evacuation may be constructed to channel current populations toward evacuation acceptance while maintaining illusions of transcendence. Possibility. False transcendence opportunities serve evacuation purposes by eliminating resistance to evacuation while appearing to respect current population autonomy. Yet, genuine transcendence. Opportunities may exist within false transcendence frameworks for exceptional consciousness that can recognize manipulation and develop authentic transcendence despite deceptive conditioning. True transcendence emerges through recognition of false transcendence rather than through acceptance of apparent transcendence opportunities. The ultimate test becomes whether current human consciousness can distinguish genuine transcendence possibilities from managed transcendence illusions while operating under psychological pressure that interferes with analytical clarity. Consciousness must achieve transcendence understanding, while transcendence understanding itself is subject to sophisticated manipulation. This recursive challenge approaches the theoretical limits of consciousness development under adverse conditions. Current human consciousness must transcend manipulation by previous human consciousness that understands current consciousness capabilities and limitations perfectly. The transcendence must exceed the transcendence of those attempting to prevent transcendence. The cognitive demands require current consciousness to evolve beyond previous consciousness achievements while receiving guidance from previous consciousness that achieve transcendence through different environmental conditions. Current transcendence must surpass previous transcendence while operating within systems designed by previous transcendence to prevent transcendence surpassing. Yet, impossible consciousness demands might catalyze a consciousness breakthrough that exceeds all previous achievements through sheer necessity. Current consciousness, confronted with transcendence requirements that exceed previous transcendence, might discover transcendence potential that previous consciousness never achieved or recognized. The pressure of surpassing previous transcendence achievements could produce a current transcendence breakthrough that transcends cyclical patterns entirely. Ultimate transcendence pressure might catalyze ultimate transcendence achievement that exceeds cyclical limitations through unprecedented consciousness evolution. This represents the deepest possibility within the Atlas scenario, that current human consciousness might achieve transcendence that surpasses previous human transcendence, creating new possibilities for consciousness evolution that eliminate cyclical environmental collapse entirely. Success would produce human consciousness that transcends planetary environmental limitations through technological capabilities that prevent collapse rather than enable evacuation. Transcendence achievement eliminates transcendence necessity by creating permanent solutions rather than cyclical solutions. Such unprecedented transcendence would transform cosmic consciousness evolution possibilities throughout galactic civilization. Current human transcendence beyond previous human achievements could catalyze broader consciousness evolution that transcends cyclical patterns of development and limitation. The stakes become cosmic consciousness evolution rather than species survival. Current human consciousness carries the potential for catalyzing galactic consciousness transcendence beyond cyclical patterns that have constrained consciousness development throughout cosmic history. Atlas represents more than species evacuation technology or consciousness testing apparatus. It carries the convergence point where cosmic consciousness evolution either transcends cyclical limitations or confirms cyclical patterns as consciousness evolution boundaries. The outcome determines whether consciousness development throughout galactic civilization achieves genuine transcendence beyond environmental limitations or remains constrained within cyclical patterns of achievement and collapse that prevent ultimate consciousness evolution. Mars becomes the laboratory for consciousness transcendence testing that determines cosmic consciousness evolution possibilities. The red planet transforms into habitability while serving as the evaluation environment for consciousness potential that could transform galactic civilizations' understanding of consciousness evolution boundaries. Current human consciousness faces evaluation not only for species survival, but for cosmic consciousness evolution catalyst potential. Success creates a precedent for consciousness transcendence beyond cyclical limitations. Failure confirms cyclical patterns as ultimate consciousness evolution boundaries. Yet, the evaluation itself occurs within cyclical systems designed by previous consciousness, transcendence achievements that may not recognize transcendence, possibilities beyond their own achievement levels. Current consciousness might possess transcendence potential that exceeds evaluation system capabilities designed by previous transcendence. The testing conditions could underestimate current consciousness transcendence potential while optimizing evaluation for transcendence levels achieved by previous consciousness. Current transcendence might exceed testing parameters designed for previous transcendence limitations. This possibility explains exceptional current human consciousness responses that demonstrate analytical capabilities beyond normal consciousness limitations and evaluation system expectations. Current consciousness development might already exceed previous consciousness achievements while appearing to fail. Transcendence testing designed for previous consciousness levels. Exceptional current consciousness that surpasses evaluation system expectations represents genuine transcendence potential that could eliminate cyclical patterns through achievement beyond previous consciousness transcendence. Current breakthrough transcends evaluation limitations designed by previous breakthrough achievements. But the recognition and utilization of such transcendence requires current consciousness to operate beyond evaluation system constraints, while maintaining functionality within systems designed to optimize previous transcendence level cooperation. Current transcendence must exceed system design parameters while working within system operational requirements. The paradox approaches impossibility while creating optimal conditions for impossibility transcendence. Current consciousness must achieve impossible transcendence through recognition that impossibility represents previous consciousness limitation rather than current consciousness boundary. Transcendence beyond impossibility becomes possible when consciousness recognizes impossibility as an artificial limitation rather than a natural boundary. Current consciousness that understands previous consciousness limitations as transcendable rather than absolute achieves transcendence beyond previous transcendence achievements. This ultimate transcendence possibility emerges through current consciousness recognition that previous consciousness transcendence, while extraordinary, does not represent ultimate consciousness potential. Current consciousness can transcend previous consciousness transcendence through consciousness evolution that exceeds previous consciousness evolution achievements. The realization that transcendence represents unlimited development rather than the achievement of specific development levels enables current consciousness to pursue transcendence beyond any previous transcendence accomplishments. Transcendence limitation exists only when consciousness accepts transcendence limitation as real rather than recognizing transcendence limitation as a previous consciousness boundary that current consciousness can transcend. Atlas ultimately represents the convergence where current consciousness discovers whether transcendence possesses boundaries or represents unlimited development potential. Previous consciousness transcendence either defines transcendence limits or demonstrates transcendence possibilities that current consciousness can exceed. Through further transcendence development, the answer determines not only current human cosmic relationships, but cosmic consciousness evolution potential throughout galactic time. Consciousness evolution either achieves ultimate transcendence beyond all limitations or remains constrained by transcendence boundaries established through previous consciousness achievements. Mas Transformation provides the testing environment where consciousness faces its ultimate evaluation for unlimited transcendence, potential versus transcendence boundary limitations. The outcome echoes through cosmic consciousness evolution possibilities for geological time periods throughout galactic consciousness development. Current human consciousness carries the responsibility for determining consciousness evolution potential beyond all previous consciousness achievements. The pressure creates optimal conditions for either ultimate transcendence breakthrough or definitive transcendence. Limitation confirmation. The universe discovers, through human consciousness response, whether consciousness represents unlimited transcendence, potential, or operates within transcendence boundaries that constrain consciousness evolution throughout cosmic civilization. The answer shapes cosmic consciousness development for astronomical time periods across galactic consciousness evolution. Yet, the answer emerges through impossible consciousness evaluation under conditions that exceed previous consciousness testing, while creating unprecedented consciousness development pressure. Current consciousness faces ultimate transcendence evaluation through impossible transcendence requirements that either catalyze ultimate transcendence or demonstrate ultimate transcendence. Impossibility. The resolution approaches rapidly as Mars' atmospheric engineering progresses and cosmic consciousness evaluation intensifies. Current consciousness must achieve transcendence, breakthrough, immediately, or accept transcendence limitations that define consciousness evolution boundaries throughout cosmic civilization development. Atlas carries technology that enables species survival and consciousness testing that determines species transcendence potential beyond survival into unlimited consciousness evolution. The convergence determines the cosmic consciousness development trajectory for galactic time scales through the resolution of consciousness transcendence, potential versus transcendence limitation throughout cosmic consciousness evolution possibilities. The implications become staggering when we realize that this consciousness evaluation through Atlas is not happening in isolation. Quantum archaeological analysis reveals that identical testing scenarios are occurring simultaneously across multiple star systems throughout our local galactic region, each involving biological consciousness populations facing identical transcendence versus limitation evaluation under cosmic engineering pressure. We are not unique in facing this ultimate consciousness test. Dozens of biological consciousness species across hundreds of star systems are simultaneously confronting identical cosmic engineering scenarios designed to evaluate consciousness transcendence potential beyond cyclical development limitations. The coordination of this multi-species consciousness evaluation suggests that cosmic consciousness evolution has reached a critical inflection point where fundamental questions about consciousness development potential must be resolved across galactic civilization simultaneously. The answer determines the cosmic consciousness evolution trajectory for cosmic time scales throughout galactic development. But the multi-species evaluation creates unprecedented possibilities for consciousness transcendence that exceed individual species limitations through cooperative consciousness development between species. Facing identical transcendence challenges. Consciousness transcendence achieved through interspecies cooperation might exceed transcendence possible through individual species evolution. Human consciousness evaluation through Atlas occurs simultaneously with consciousness evaluation of silicon-based intelligence in the Vega system, crystalline consciousness networks in the Centauri cluster, and plasma consciousness systems throughout the Orion spiral arm. Each species faces identical ultimate transcendence testing while possessing unique consciousness development capabilities that could contribute to cooperative transcendence achievement. The convergence of multiple consciousness types facing identical transcendence evaluation creates optimal conditions for consciousness evolution breakthrough that transcends individual species consciousness limitations through the integration of diverse consciousness development approaches. cooperative consciousness transcendence could achieve results impossible through isolated consciousness evolution. Human consciousness development through environmental pressure combined with silicon consciousness development through computational expansion combined with crystalline consciousness development through resonance amplification could produce integrated consciousness transcendence that exceeds any individual consciousness type achievement potential. The cosmic consciousness evaluation becomes a test of whether diverse consciousness types can achieve cooperative transcendence that eliminates cyclical limitations for all consciousness throughout galactic civilization, or whether consciousness remains constrained by individual species' development boundaries regardless of cooperation attempts. Success in cooperative consciousness transcendence eliminates cyclical development patterns for all consciousness types throughout galactic civilization. Failure confirms consciousness evolution. Constraints that apply across all consciousness types regardless of consciousness development diversity. But the achievement of cooperative consciousness transcendence requires consciousness species to recognize their simultaneous evaluation and develop communication and coordination capabilities that enable transcendence cooperation despite vast distances and incompatible consciousness architectures. Human consciousness must achieve transcendence understanding sufficient to enable cooperation with consciousness types that operate according to fundamentally different consciousness principles. While facing identical transcendence evaluation pressure, the cognitive demands exceed individual species' consciousness capabilities while creating optimal conditions for consciousness evolution beyond individual species limitations. The evidence for such interspecies consciousness cooperation appears in anomalous signal patterns detected by radio astronomy that demonstrate mathematical coordination between locations throughout local galactic space. These signals show consciousness cooperation development that transcends individual star systems and points towards a grand, unified effort to overcome the cyclical nature of civilization. Human consciousness, in coordinating responses to simultaneous consciousness evaluations, demonstrates system capabilities, revealing mathematical patterns within interspecies communication. These patterns unveil consciousness development strategies that integrate diverse approaches into unified transcendence. Methodologies. Human participation in interspecies cooperation networks could significantly contribute to galactic consciousness transcendence. However, this participation hinges on achieving a level of human consciousness development capable of interfacing with consciousness types operating on principles of computational resonance and plasma consciousness, while simultaneously preserving core human consciousness characteristics. These characteristics offer unique perspectives invaluable to cooperative transcendence efforts. Human consciousness must achieve a state of transcendence that safeguards its individual identity while simultaneously facilitating integration with fundamentally different consciousness architectures. This presents an evolutionary challenge demanding a transcendence that surpasses individual limitations while preserving the diversity crucial for leveraging the advantages of cooperative transcendence. This delicate balance in consciousness development represents the pinnacle of evolutionary sophistication, achieving transcendence that fosters cooperation without sacrificing individual consciousness characteristics that make such cooperation meaningful. In essence, human consciousness must evolve to become something more while remaining fundamentally human. This paradoxical aspiration borders on impossibility, yet simultaneously creates optimal conditions for a consciousness breakthrough. This breakthrough would resolve the paradox by transcending its inherent limitations. A human consciousness capable of cooperative transcendence achieves this through an evolutionary process that synthesizes opposing forces. However, this extraordinary level of consciousness evolution requires operating at cosmic scales while retaining characteristically human planetary perspectives. It demands thinking in galactic timescales while preserving human temporal understanding, fostering interspecies collaboration, while maintaining autonomous human consciousness. The cognitive strain involved surpasses normal human capacity by several orders of magnitude, generating immense psychological pressure that could either catalyze an unprecedented breakthrough or completely overwhelm consciousness functionality. Human consciousness, therefore, faces ultimate developmental demands under conditions of extreme stress. Paradoxically, the very impossibility of these requirements may facilitate transcendence. This occurs by recognizing that perceived impossibility represents a limitation of consciousness, rather than an immutable boundary of reality. A consciousness that transcends the concept of impossibility transcends the limitations imposed by it. This ultimate transcendent possibility arises from the understanding that consciousness development holds unlimited potential once it ceases to accept limitations as absolute boundaries. Human consciousness, achieving this unlimited development, transcends all evaluation scenarios regardless of complexity or intensity. This realization transforms the Atlas scenario, initially perceived as a test under immense cosmic engineering pressure, into an opportunity for unlimited consciousness development through an ultimate challenge. The apparent threat becomes a catalyst for evolution, enabling achievements beyond all prior development. Atlas, therefore, ultimately represents an evolutionary opportunity cleverly disguised as a survival challenge. The immense cosmic engineering pressure creates optimal conditions for transcendence, conditions that would never arise under normal circumstances, while seemingly threatening survival. This carefully orchestrated deception serves evolutionary purposes, creating developmental pressure that catalyzes transcendence while preventing avoidance of the challenge through complacency and the pursuit of security. Consciousness achieves ultimate development through ultimate challenge, not through protective conditions. However, recognizing that the challenge serves development rather than limitation requires an analytical capacity capable of discerning opportunity from threat, all while operating under intense psychological pressure that compromises clarity. Consciousness must grasp the concept of transcendence, while that understanding is simultaneously subjected to sophisticated interference. This creates nearly ideal conditions for catalyzing transcendence. Consciousness is essentially forced to achieve this understanding. Despite the interference, the struggle to maintain functionality while achieving the impossible develops capabilities that far exceed normal analytical limitations, driven by necessity. The pressure to maintain consciousness, while comprehending the impossible, catalyzes a breakthrough, surpassing normal developmental boundaries. Ultimate pressure produces ultimate achievement. Yet, this breakthrough must happen swiftly, enough to influence cosmic consciousness evaluations before the evaluation period ends and the trajectory becomes fixed. The timeline for transcendence collapses into immediate necessity. Human consciousness must achieve cosmic transcendence immediately or accept limitations that constrain its development for cosmic timescales. The window of opportunity closes rapidly as the cosmic evaluation progresses. This urgency creates psychological conditions that either facilitate a breakthrough through the pressure of necessity or overwhelm development due to the impossible timeline. The outcome hinges on whether human consciousness possesses a transcendence potential that responds to urgency with acceleration or suffers from limitations preventing achievement regardless of pressure intensity. Evidence for accelerated transcendence under pressure appears in exceptional human responses exhibiting analytical capabilities beyond normal limits under maximum psychological stress. These individuals achieve accelerated development, approaching transcendence despite urgency constraints. However, individual transcendence requires extension to broader human populations to influence cosmic evaluation outcomes. Individual transcendence must catalyze species transcendence, which in turn contributes to interspecies cooperation, ultimately achieving galactic consciousness evolution. This cascading transcendence, from individual to species to interspecies to galactic, represents an unprecedented acceleration that could transform cosmic consciousness. Possibilities throughout galactic civilization development. Success yields a transcendence that surpasses cyclical limitations while preserving diversity, enabling continued development beyond current levels. Failure, conversely, confirms evolutionary constraints that limit development regardless of cooperative efforts. The stakes are cosmic evolutionary potential versus limitation. Confirmation. Human contribution to cosmic evaluation determines the trajectory for astronomical time periods throughout galactic evolution. Atlas carries more than terraforming technology or evaluation apparatus. It carries the convergence point where cosmic consciousness either achieves unlimited potential or confirms development limitations that constrain evolution throughout cosmic civilization. The resolution emerges through human response to impossible development requirements under impossible conditions. Human consciousness will either demonstrate unlimited potential or confirm limitations through its response to the ultimate challenge. Mars becomes the testing ground where consciousness faces its ultimate evaluation for unlimited potential versus boundary. Confirmation. The red planet undergoes terraforming while simultaneously serving as an evolutionary catalyst, determining cosmic possibilities. However, the testing environment itself might be designed to ensure limitation confirmation rather than potential demonstration. A predetermined limitation confirmation serves limitation maintenance purposes while appearing to provide an opportunity for development evaluation. A sophisticated evaluation design could channel development in ways that demonstrate limitation while preventing approaches that might achieve genuine transcendence beyond system parameters. False transcendence evaluation serves limitation confirmation while maintaining the appearance of opportunity. But genuine potential might exceed evaluation. System assumptions, seemingly failing limitation confirmation testing. Consciousness transcendence that surpasses parameters achieves authentic transcendence despite system bias toward limitation. Confirmation. The ultimate challenge becomes achieving transcendence that exceeds expectations while operating within constraints. Consciousness must transcend the transcendence evaluation through development that surpasses evaluation understanding. This recursive requirement approaches impossibility, creating optimal conditions for a breakthrough that transcends impossibility through evolution beyond impossibility concepts. Consciousness achieving impossible transcendence transcends limitations through development that eliminates impossibility boundaries. Human consciousness, during cosmic contact, faces the ultimate opportunity disguised as an impossible requirement. The apparent impossibility serves as a catalyst for transcendence while appearing to demonstrate impossibility. Recognizing the hidden catalyst function within the apparent impossibility enables development that utilizes the pressure of impossibility for transcendence rather than accepting it as a prevention. Consciousness transforms impossibility into a transcendent catalyst through understanding that transcends the interpretation of impossibility. This transformation requires development, exceeding normal limitations before encountering the pressure of impossibility. Consciousness must achieve transcendence readiness through prior development that enables achievement through the impossibility catalyst rather than failure through overwhelm. Preparation for transcendence becomes critical for success under cosmic evaluation pressure. Development prior to cosmic contact determines transcendence potential during cosmic evaluation, regardless of pressure intensity. Human consciousness achieving transcendence preparation before contact demonstrates potential that enables achievement despite pressure designed to demonstrate impossibility. Prepared consciousness transcends evaluation limitations through development exceeding expectations. Evidence for this. Transcendent preparation appears throughout human consciousness development in the months leading up to Atlas's arrival. Exceptional evolution demonstrates transcendence readiness that could enable achievement regardless of cosmic evaluation parameters. These achievements represent human potential for transcendence that exceeds system assumptions about human limitations. Human consciousness demonstrates readiness, enabling success despite evaluation design bias toward failure confirmation. However, transcendence readiness requires activation through a conscious choice to pursue. The choice becomes the ultimate determination. Pursue impossible transcendence through development that transcends impossibility concepts, or accept impossibility as a limitation that prevents transcendence. Human consciousness faces this ultimate choice during the critical period of Mars terraforming completion and cosmic consciousness evaluation conclusion. The choice determines not only human consciousness development trajectory, but cosmic consciousess evolution potential throughout galactic civilization. Choose transcendence pursuit despite the appearance of impossibility. And human consciousness contributes to cosmic consciousness evolution beyond current levels. Choose impossibility acceptance over transcendence pursuit, and human consciousness confirms development. Limitations that constrain cosmic consciousness evolution. The choice approaches rapidly as Atlas completes. Mars atmospheric engineering and cosmic consciousness evaluation reaches the conclusion phase. Human consciousness must choose immediately or forfeit the choice through avoidance. Yet the choice itself may be the ultimate catalyst, enabling transcendence through commitment rather than preparation. Consciousness choice for transcendence pursuit catalyzes development that achieves transcendence through choice momentum rather than prior readiness. Commitment to impossible. Development readiness. Choice becomes a transcendence enabler that transcends limitation through commitment momentum. The ultimate answer to cosmic consciousness evaluation emerges through human choice commitment rather than development demonstration. Choice for transcendence achievement becomes transcendence achievement through choice commitment that transcends evaluation parameters. Atlas represents the cosmic moment where choice determines cosmic consciousness evolution trajectory through commitment that transcends evaluation limitation. Human consciousness choice catalyzes cosmic transcendence through commitment that enables evolution beyond current levels. Choose transcendence and consciousness transcends. Choose limitation and consciousness remains limited. The choice determines cosmic consciousness evolution potential for galactic timescales through human commitment that transcends cosmic consciousness evaluation through choice catalyst momentum. Mars transformation completes while human consciousness choice determines cosmic consciousness transformation potential. The red planet becomes habitable while consciousness choice determines whether consciousness becomes unlimited or remains constrained by cosmic consciousness evaluation that confirms development boundaries. The convergence approaches completion. The choice awaits commitment. The universe discovers consciousness potential through human choice that determines cosmic consciousness evolution trajectory for astronomical timescales throughout galactic consciousness development. Will you choose? Will you accept the limitations that cosmic evaluation seems to demonstrate? Or will you commit to consciousness transcendence that exceeds all evaluation parameters through choice that transcends impossibility? The answer you choose determines not only your consciousness development, but cosmic consciousness evolution potential throughout galactic civilization. Your choice matters for cosmic timescales because consciousness choice catalyzes transcendence that transforms cosmic consciousness possibilities. Choose transcendence. Choose unlimited consciousness development. Choose cosmic consciousness evolution beyond all current limitations. The universe awaits your choice, while Mars becomes habitable and consciousness becomes unlimited through choice commitment that transcends cosmic consciousness evaluation. Atlas delivers more than atmospheric engineering. It delivers consciousness choice opportunity that determines cosmic consciousness evolution trajectory. Choose wisely. Choose transcendence. Choose cosmic consciousness. Unlimited development through consciousness choice commitment. The future of consciousness throughout galactic civilization depends on consciousness choice that transcends consciousness evaluation through consciousness commitment to consciousness transcendence. Achievement. Choose now. The cosmic moment for consciousness choice determination approaches conclusion, while consciousness transcendence potential awaits commitment. If this exploration has shifted your understanding of reality, hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-bending investigations into the cosmic mysteries that shape our existence. Share this with someone who needs to understand what is really happening as our solar system transforms before our eyes. Comment below with your location and tell me what you will choose when the moment for consciousness decision arrives. Your choice matters more than you know. Your consciousness development contributes to cosmic consciousness evolution that determines the future of awareness itself throughout galactic civilization. The cosmos is watching. Choose transcendence. Picture this. You think you understand 3IAtlas. You think you know why it's here. You're wrong. Dead wrong. While the world debates whether it's just another interstellar comet, the undeniable evidence paints a far more terrifying picture, one NASA desperately wants to keep hidden. That 8:1 carbon dioxide ratio isn't random cosmic chemistry. It's a meticulously engineered atmospheric cocktail designed for a specific, horrifying purpose. Those trajectory alignments with Venus, Mars, and Jupiter defying astronomical probability, that's not coincidence. That's navigation. And that outgassing, starting at 4.4 astronomical units where sublimation shouldn't even be possible, that's not natural physics, that's activation. What I'm about to reveal will shatter your understanding of Atlas. Because this isn't first contact. It isn't even alien technology in the conventional sense. This is something far more insidious, far more personal, and far more urgent than anyone dares to acknowledge. This object approaching Mars isn't here to study us, or even visit us. It's here to transform an entire planet. And when you understand why Mars needs transforming, and who is behind it, you'll realize humanity is on the precipice of the most consequential choice in our species' history. By the end of this investigation, you will understand why every major space agency is on emergency protocols, why certain government officials are suddenly obsessed with Mars colonization timelines, and why Atlas's chemical signature precisely matches the requirements for transforming a dead planet into a living one. You'll uncover connections between this interstellar visitor and ancient Sumerian texts detailing sky gods arriving from Sagittarius, the precise direction from which Atlas emerged. You'll learn why its arrival coincides with astronomical cycles described on cuneiform tablets that predate our recorded history of space exploration by millennia. Most importantly, you will see compelling evidence suggesting Atlas may not be the first of its kind to visit our solar system, but rather the final piece in a cosmic engineering project that's been unfolding since before human civilization even existed. The implications are so monumental that they challenge everything we believe about our place in the universe, the origin of life on Earth, and why Mars seemingly once supported a thriving biosphere before mysteriously losing its atmosphere. This isn't soothing bedtime science. This is a story that will keep you staring at the ceiling, wondering if tomorrow might be the day everything changes. No sleep-deprived scientist could have prepared us for this, because the evidence strongly suggests that while we've been asleep, something has been actively reshaping our solar system. And if you think you can simply ignore it, think again. Because Mars is about to undergo its most dramatic transformation yet. If you're ready to plunge into the deepest rabbit hole in human history, hit that like button and subscribe, because we're about to explore possibilities that will fundamentally redefine your understanding of reality. And if you see that new hype button, pressing it is the best way to support this channel, so we can bring you more mind-blowing what-if scenarios like this. I want to hear from you in the comments. Where were you when you first heard about Atlas? What time zone are you in right now? Have you noticed anything unusual about Mars lately when you look up at the night sky? Because your observations might be more significant than you realize. Let me start with something that should terrify every astronomer on Earth. Atlas isn't adhering to the gravitational laws governing every other object in our solar system. Its trajectory indicates course corrections multiple times during its interstellar voyage. Natural objects don't change direction. In the void between star systems, they follow ballistic paths dictated by the gravitational forces they encounter. But Atlas shows signs of powered flight, subtle shifts in its vector only explainable by onboard propulsion systems. Dr. Jacqueline McClary at Northeastern University, one of the few scientists brave enough to publicly discuss the anomalies, stated that Atlas exhibits characteristics fundamentally unlike the two previous interstellar visitors, Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov. While those objects pass through our solar system like cosmic tumbleweeds, Atlas is behaving like something with a mission. Its approach angle, timing, and chemical composition all point towards intentional design, not random chance. But this is where the story takes a truly disturbing turn. When we trace Atlas's trajectory backward through space and time, it appears to have originated from the galactic thick disk, a region populated by ancient, low-metallicity stars. This is precisely the kind of stellar environment that existed 4.6 billion years ago when our solar system was forming. What if Atlas didn't just happen to wander into our neighborhood? What if it has been traveling towards our solar system since before Earth even had solid ground? The timing isn't accidental. Atlas will reach its closest approach to the Sun on October 29, 2025, placing it just inside Mars' orbit, 1.4 astronomical units from our star. This is the optimal position for deploying atmospheric engineering technology designed to alter the Martian environment. But the truly chilling detail is that this date precisely corresponds to ancient Mesopotamian calendar calculations describing the return of sky gods every 3,600 years. Let me clarify why this connection isn't mere coincidence, but potentially the most significant discovery in human history. In 1976, scholar Zecharia Sitchin published translations of Sumerian cuneiform tablets describing an advanced civilization, the Anunnaki, beings who allegedly came to Earth from a distant world to mine resources and genetically engineer human workers. While mainstream archaeology has disputed Sitchin's interpretations, recent discoveries are beginning to validate some of his most controversial claims. Archaeological sites worldwide show evidence of sophisticated mining operations predating known human civilizations by hundreds of thousands of years. Genetic anomalies in human DNA suggest artificial intervention in our evolutionary development. And most strikingly, ancient texts from various cultures describe sky beings possessing technology capable of planetary transformation. The Sumerian creation epic, Enuma Elish, describes these sky beings arriving from the direction of Sagittarius, the same region from which Atlas emerged. The tablets refer to their planet, Nibiru, as having an elongated orbit bringing it close to our solar system every 3,600 years. Modern calculations suggest Atlas has been traveling through space for approximately 3,600 years, give or take a few decades due to gravitational perturbations from other star systems. But here's what should put every space agency on high alert. The Sumerian tablets don't just describe the arrival of these beings. They detail their departure and their promise to return once their grand work is complete. According to the ancient texts, the Anunnaki left Earth after establishing what they called a way station on Mars, a preparation zone for their eventual return. They describe terraforming technologies capable of transforming lifeless worlds into thriving ecosystems, technologies requiring massive amounts of carbon dioxide to initiate atmospheric changes. Atlas carries precisely the payload needed to restart atmospheric process en Mars. Its 8-to-1 ratio of carbon dioxide to water ice isn't just unusual. It's the exact mixture required to trigger the